the outfield for the Braves, it'll be the former Red Duvall in left, Ronald Acuna Jr. in center. Nick Markakis gets a start in right. Third to first, Riley back in there at third base. Swanson at short, Ozzie at second for the double play combo. Freddie Freeman doing the catching. And Travis d'Arnaud, Freddie at first base, d'Arnaud doing the catching for Max Fried, 26 years old, 6'4", 190, out of Santa Monica, California. First round pick in 2012, the 7th pick overall in the draft by San Diego. And he has been in postseason before. He's been in 8 games in relief and has not allowed a hit in 5 of those 8 relief outings. Let's hope he's got some of that in him today. Nick Senzel out of Tennessee University, ready to lead things off for the Reds, and as he does, here with the call is Ben Ingram.
All right, thank you, Joe, and no wind at all. We've been talking about how perfect a day it is. There's not a cloud anywhere in sight. A beautiful, crystal clear canopy of blue over the top of Truist Park. Fried gets the nod from home plate umpire Stu Shorwater into his windup, and now for the ball game. The first pitch is laced out to right field, and that'll drop in front of Nick Markakis for a leadoff single. First pitch, 1 hit, Senzel aboard. A guy that did not have big numbers in the leadoff spot this year gets the Reds cranked up here in the top of the first inning. So a runner aboard for Cincinnati. It's the 2 Knicks at the top of the order for the Reds. Senzel and Castellanos, followed by Votto. And Max Fried into the stretch for the first time. The Braves were outstanding when he was on the mound this year. They went 10-1 in his starts.
65 degrees, 1208, 65.
Does have a good pickoff move over to first base. Pitch on the way. That's sent foul. Not thinking one on Castellanos. Right fielder for the Reds, belted 14 home runs this season, drove in 34. And a big acquisition. And I think when he was acquired, Joe, a lot of people thought that this offense would be clicking starting opening day.
When they got off to the good start, it was what they expected to have when they made all these acquisitions, and then things went south offensively.
No balls at a strike on Castellanos. Ozzie, a bit of a shift towards the bag at second, and the 0-1. Swung on and hit in the air out to center field, and that humpback liner bounces in front of Ronald Acuna. Trying to go first to third is Senzel. The throw comes in, and it's late. He goes in with a head-first slide, and they're at the corners with no one out in the top of a scoreless first inning.
Pretty obvious what the Reds have in mind. Get after Max Fried early in the count. That was just a really bad curveball. Big, high hanger.
Well, Castellanos and Senzel with back-to-back singles. And they're at first and third with no one out for Joey Votto. Max will display that fastball when he's really on, mid to upper 90s. Can hit 97 on occasion. Of late, he's been 92, 93 with a heater. Obviously, the curveball, a slider, and a changeup. No one out, first and third, and the pitch on the way to Votto. Turns his shoulder, takes a ball up and in. And a 1-ball, no strike count.
Middle of the infield, playing back. Trying to avoid a big inning. They'll concede a run for a double play chance.
Votto, a left-handed hitter, pinwheels an all-black bat. Awaits his 1-0 offering. And here it is from Max Fried. Ground ball to first. Freddie's got it. Looks back. Senzel at third. Steps on the bag for an out. Advancing down to second base is Castellano. And the Braves will take the out and see the Reds set up second and third. Freddie holding aboard the runner that time. No way that Nick Senzel was going to run on that Gold Glove arm.
No. Smart move on his part. Good opportunity for the Braves to make sure that run didn't cross.
Second and third, 1 out, no score in the top of the first inning. And Eugenio Suarez is the batter, and he's dangerous. He's definitely given the Reds a good power surge in the middle of their lineup for several years. Hit 49 home runs last season. Right-handed bat, pitch on the way from Fried. That is smoked out towards Ozzie. He catches the line drive, and back go the runners to second and third. Ozzie in the shift, drifting to the shortstop side of second base, right in the neighborhood for that one.
Another first pitch swing.
We're talking about ways that the game has changed. Another key way that it's changed a lot, if you're taking on a team that you've not seen, you wouldn't have near as much video and things like that to look at. You might need to get through the order a time or two before we really have a guy down. Reds clearly have a plan in mind versus Fried. 2 down for Moustakas. He takes a ball low and outside. First pitch curveball, and it's a 1-0 count.
This guy's been through the postseason wars too. Milwaukee, Kansas City. Seasoned veteran, tough out.
Left-handed hitter, hit .230 during the regular season. Ball and no strikes, pitch on the way. Little number foul. So a 1-1 count on Moustakas. 2 outs, no score. Top of the first inning. Runners at second and third. And Max Fried trying to dodge some traffic here in the top of the first inning. If Castellanos reaches, or rather if Moustakas reaches, Aquino would come to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mike Moustakas. Lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. Chopper to second. Ozzy's on the other end. He'll fling it over to first base. There's out number 3, and Max indeed weaves in and out of traffic in the top of the first inning. No runs, 2 hits. Couple men left on base.
In center, Castellanos in right. Suarez at third base. The middle infield, Farmer at short. And Moustakas at second. Joey Votto at first base. Kurt Casale behind the plate. And on the mound, Trevor Bauer, 29 years old, 6'1", 205 out of North Hollywood, California. By way of UCLA, he was a first-round pick by the D-backs back in 2011. Fastball, curveball, slider, change. He was 5-4 this year and led the National League in ERA. He was number 1 in hits allowed per 9 innings, only averaged about 5 hits per 9 innings. A career best 2 walks per 9 innings for Bauer as well. He's tough. He'll be a formidable opponent. Get after him early.
Well, the big right-hander will see Acuna, Freeman, and Ozuna here in the bottom of a scoreless first inning. First pitch on the way to Ronald. Inside with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. We'd look at that record 5-4. Maybe you wouldn't think much of it, but that 1.73 ERA and 11 starts certainly is an attention getter. He's hoping to get the attention of the voters when it comes to the Cy Young Award. Leg kick on the pitch on the way, up and in. Just about shaved him. And a 2-0 count on Acuna, who gives a stare out to Trevor Bauer. Ronald backs out of there, readjusts the batting gloves, and will climb back in with a 2-0 count. Red shift Moustakas to the left side of the infield. Joey Votto by himself on the right side. Chasing and missing is Acuna. 2 balls and a strike. Bauer is a horse. 6 innings or more in all but 1 start. 2 shutouts. Both were in 7-inning games. Offering on the way. 2-1 misses the outside corner. 3 balls and a strike.
Just because he's the veteran in these 2 pitchers doesn't mean he's not amped up too.
And a 3-1 all the way from Bauer. Swung on and popped up to shallow center. Coming in is Nick Senzel. Going back, Mike Moustakas. And the center fielder, Nick Senzel, looks up into the brilliant blue sky and makes the catch for out number 1.
But then again, Bauer's always amped up, so today's nothing new for him.
On and off the field.
Right.
Interesting story on Bauer. He's the son of a chemical engineer, and his father wasn't much of a ball player. But he helped develop his son as a pitcher through the scientific prism of the way he sees things in his career. I'll tell you more about that after this first pitch to Freddie Freeman. Swung on and drilled deep right field. This will send back Castellanos to the warning track. Leaps into the air, and he's got it as it goes up against the below the chop out there against right field. So Freddie gave it a ride, hit it all the way to the wall, but a good play made by Nick Castellanos for out number 2.
And Castellanos, the scouting report on him is that he does not go back on the ball very well, but he made a great catch there to rob Freddie of extra bases.
Would certainly be impressive in his own ballpark, but in a ballpark he's not played in this year, that's even more impressive. So 2 down for Marcell Ozuna, no score in the bottom of the first inning. Marcell, the home run champion and RBI champion in the National League this year. Offering on the way, first pitch swinging and a bottle rocket to shallow right. Charging in is Castellanos. He is there, and that is out number 3. So a 7-pitch inning out of Trevor. Original Louisiana brand hot sauce is now the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Made with a special blend of hand-picked peppers, the original Louisiana brand hot sauce adds the right pop of flavor to any meal. Lots of Georgia sunshine spread all over. And Perfect day for baseball as Max Fried continues to take a few to the mitt. He'll be taking on Aquino, Winker, and Farmer. 6, 7, and 8 in the Reds' half of the second inning. No score. And judging by what we saw in the first inning, Joe, some aggressive swings early in counts for both teams.
Both teams, good fastball hitting teams, and they weren't going to wait around for something else. Still impressed by the catch by Castellanos.
I bet Freddie Freeman was as well. When it came off his bat, it looked like it was going to hit off the wall. Castellanos closed quickly. So here is Aristides Aquino. Big open stance, swings at the first pitch, fouled straight back into the screen and late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's good to see that velocity reading.
Sure is. Good pickup there.
0-1 on Aquino. 170 hitter. He took the world by storm last year. Quite the power surge to start his rookie season. 0-1 pitch, hits the inside corner. And it's quickly 0-2 on Aquino. Fried looking for his first strikeout victim. Into his windup, and the lefty brings the 0-2. Check swing on a slider, and he did not go as they appeal up the first baseline to Marty Foster.
He had 47 home runs last year between the Reds and their AAA team. And he set a major league record for most homers in his first 15 games in the big leagues with 8.
1-2 pitch. It's fouled off the inside of his foot. He's a really tall hitter. Really open stance. Altogether, 10 homers in his first 16 games last year. Out of the Dominican Republic awaits his 1-2 offering from Max Fried. That's poked out towards Freddie. Backhand stop. He flips over to Fried, who wins the race to the bag against the long-legged Aquino. And one down. Freddie was a pretty good ways off the bag, and that was a dead sprint to first between Aquino and Fried, and Max wins the race. No score, top of the second inning. Here's the designated hitter, Jesse Winker. 4 years in the big leagues for Winker. Hit .255 this season. Left-handed hitter. And the Braves adjust accordingly on the infield as Swanson shifts over a few steps. His heel is right on the grass of center field. Lefty matchup offering on the way. That was a very tardy swing by Winker. I'm not sure he knew what he was doing, but it's 0-1.
He looked like he didn't see it and still swung.
There's the 0-1 for Max Fried. Just missed the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike on Winker. And for Fried, seeing how aggressive these guys are, do you expect more 0-0 breaking balls?
I would think so. Change up maybe. Start innings.
Ball and a strike. Winker waits. Pitch on the way. Swung on and hit in the air deep down the left field line, sailing towards the pole. And this is a foul ball. It's one of the placards about 2 sections to the left of the foul pole. And a 1-2 count on the DH Winker. The first time today, the flags lift up off the poles. Little breeze coming in from right field, angling towards the left field foul pole. Just a soft breeze here on the final day of September 2020. No score, top of the second inning. And the 1-2 on the way from Fried. Missed outside with a fastball and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
How about the fact we actually have some people in the seats, too? Families of the Braves players allowed to come to the game today, as well as some Braves employees.
That beats placards, doesn't it?
Yep.
Here's the 2-2. Chopper out towards Freddie. This bounces into his glove. He'll take it to the bag, and that's an easy second out. And 2 quick outs for Max here in the top of the scoreless second inning.
Braves fans, official 2020 postseason caps and Respect Atlanta postseason T-shirts are now available at the Braves Clubhouse store at Truist Park. You can shop at the Battery Atlanta or follow them at Braves Retail on Instagram to see the full collection and how to order.
2 down, bases empty for an Atlanta native, Kyle Farmer. in his hometown wearing enemy colors here in game one of this wild card series. Pitch on the way to Farmer. There's a called strike, 0-1. Fastball, 93 from Fried. And the 0-1 on the way. Just a little bit up and in with a fastball.
First inning, very high ERA for Max, over 5. After that, innings 2, 3, and 4, awesome. He's only given up 1 total run all year long in the second, third, and fourth inning.
1-1 to Farmer. And misses high, 2-1. So seeing what we saw in the first inning and knowing that, how important is it that he got through it without giving up a single tally?
It's huge, and not altogether surprising that he had some traffic and had to pitch around it.
They had first and third with no one out. And Fried got through it without any runs coming across. So scoreless in the top of the second, and the 2-1 on the way from Fried. Swung on and missed. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. And a good slider, hard and in. If Farmer reaches, then Casale would come to the plate. But Fried would just rather see him to lead off the third. Darno sets up on the inside corner. Here's the 2-2 on the way from Max Fried. Swung on and a bouncer to the left side. Dansby is there. Scoops, bobbles a moment, throws over, and just in time gets Kyle Farmer. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. So Dansby had to squeeze it a second time, but enough work. It's game one of this series. Braves and Reds. No score into the bottom of the second inning. A perfect day here at the ballpark. The only thing we're missing is you, obviously, but the bunting all around the ballpark, and the weather has changed. A perfect day for baseball. And the Braves will be setting up Darno, Albies, and Duvall in the bottom of the second inning. Folks, get Wi-Fi security with a warning track. Xfinity X5 gives you peace of mind with a smarter, more secure home Wi-Fi network. If it's connected, it's protected. Xfinity, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. Braves went down 1-2-3 in the top of the, around at the bottom of the first inning. And now to be Darno, Albies, and Duvall here in the bottom of the second. 29-year-old right-hander Trevor Bauer induced 3 flyouts in the first inning. Telling you a story about how his father, the chemical engineer, helped him develop as a pitcher when he was young. The father-son duo read about Cuban pitchers who threw coconuts to build arm strength. So they waterlogged baseballs, and that's what he routinely threw to strengthen his arm as a young man. And he is a right-hander who believes heavily in long toss. That's definitely been something that he's kept along with his career. Hard-throwing right-hander out of Southern California, and he goes to work versus Travis Darno. Called strike on the inside corner.
His teammates with Garrett Cole at UCLA. That's not a bad 1-2.
How did they lose?
Right.
That's a Friday, Saturday night doozy if you're in the Pac-12. A couple of guys from Southern California going head-to-head in this at-bat with Darno and Bauer. A 1 pitch. That is off the end of the bat to the right side, taking on a series of hops by Mike Moustakas, the second baseman. And he throws out Darno and 1 down.
You might remember, Ben, the first time we saw Bauer over at Turner Field when he was with the Diamondbacks, we'd heard about his pre-game rituals and getting loose. And it seemed like it was 45 minutes before his first pitch that he started loosening up and was playing catch from foul pole to foul pole across the field, something I've never seen a pitcher do on the day he's pitching.
I don't know how he wasn't exhausted by first pitch. Here's Ozzie, 1 out, bases empty. They shift to the right side. Ground ball right side. On the other end is Joey Votto. And he bobbles it for a moment. By the time he gets it, Albies is running safely across the bag. He tried to scoop that and just flipped it straight up into the air. And the Braves have their first base runner of the afternoon.
Well, we got a report on Votto that he's nowhere near the first baseman he used to be. Very little range, doesn't like to throw unless he has to, and did not feel that any good fundamentals whatsoever.
Well, it's got E3 written all over it.
I would think so.
And the Braves have some good wheels on the base paths and Ozzie Albies. Here's Adam Duvall. He'd love nothing more than to sting one of his former teams, that being the Cincinnati Reds. And they're going to go base hit for Ozzie Albies.
Thank you very much.
Big swing and a miss by Duvall. I think Joey Votto would say that's a play I've got to make 100 times out of 100. It is the big leagues after all.
And Trevor Bauer would say the same thing to Joey.
That's right. No score, bottom of the second. Braves have a runner at first base thanks to an infield single by Ozzie Albies. New ball with 16 home runs during the year. Pick off over to first base, and Ozzie back in with a dive. Adams had some postseason experience, had some big base hits for the Braves last year against St. Louis. Ozzie on the move, pitch on the way, spoiled foul. Right back to the screen, and Ozzie will make a U-turn, head back to first base.
Ooh, he had a good jump. Huge jump. Casale, nothing above average or below average about him and his throwing. He's okay. And you know the Braves don't run that much, but Ozzie had a big jump.
No balls, 2 strikes on Duvall, 1 out, runner at first, no score. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Duvall had a couple of 30 home run seasons when he was with the Reds and has brought that power to Atlanta. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and fouled back. Still an 0-2 count. Duvall grew up in Reds country. Growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, that's only about 100 miles from Cincinnati. So I'm sure it was the thrill of his life at the time to play for the Reds, who are so close to his hometown. But he has been a blast to watch in Atlanta this season. No balls and 2 strikes. Ozzie gets a good lead at first base. There he goes. Pitch on the way. That's a ball high. Throw down to second base. Close play. Ozzie's safe. Head first slide just under the tag of Mike Moustakas. The throw looked like it was on time, Joe, but maybe a little bit high with that throw down.
Right. That was a good release by Casale and a good tag attempt, but the throw was high, and it came down on Ozzie's back. Reds are going to take a look at it.
Home plate umpire Stu Shorewater over in front of the Reds dugout saying, let's figure it out, guys. They want to look at it.
You're supposed to only have 10 seconds, and they have decided they want to take a look.
So this is our Ford Play Under Review, brought to you by your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of your Atlanta Braves. Looks like the tag hit him on the left shoulder, right where the shoulder meets perhaps the rib cage area, right under the armpit.
Certainly a bang-bang play, but I can't see him overturning it.
By the way, they've wiped away the base hit for Ozzie Albies. They just had a scoring change on the play to Votto a moment ago and gone E3. Ozzie came across second base with his left hand. Helmet came flying off and hit Mike Moustakas in the shin. Meanwhile, the tag was coming down. Watching the replay, I don't think you can overturn this one.
No, and you can see Ozzie's hand hit the base before the glove hits his shoulder. Or I should say his oven mitt.
And he is safe. Headsets come off. Joe West signals safe, spreads the wings, and a stolen base for Ozzie Albies. If you're Adam Duvall, and you're midway through your count, they have to look at a play like that, and you get some time off. How hard is it to get right back in?
Not that bad. You're okay.
He's looking at a 1-2 count.
Trevor Bauer, on the other hand, gets to throw a couple of warm-ups while they're looking.
So Ozzie steals second. Runner at second, 1 out. No score, bottom of the second inning. And a 1-2 count on Adam Duvall with Dansby Swanson in the on-deck circle. There's the 1-2 from Bauer. Swung on and missed. That one fluttered up there, and Adam hacked right through it. And 2 down here in the second inning. First strikeout of the ball game for Bauer. So the bat in the hands of Dansby Swanson. And he was certainly an X factor for the Braves this season. He was instrumental to the Braves' success this year. How about this? In games the Braves won this year, he hit .319 and scored 41 runs. In the Braves' losses, he hit .204 and scored just 8 runs. Big swing.
Big bad splits right there.
See if they can get Dansby going here in this one. Runner at second, 2 down. Here's the first pitch to Swanson. Swung on and fouled straight back.
If you want some more numbers on Trevor Bauer this year, runners in scoring position, hitters hit .086 against him. They were 3 for 35. And in this situation, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 3 for 20.
He's really done a nice job bearing down. Nothing in 1 on Swanson, getting his first look at Bauer. Albies a lead at second base on the 0-1 on the way. Looking for the outside corner, couldn't quite find it, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Braves shortstop. Reds had a couple of men in scoring position in the first inning. Came up with nothing. And the Braves looking to turn in Ozzie as he's looking for a lift home as he stands out there at second base. Ball and a strike. Offering on the way from Bauer. It's taken for a ball low. Lots of secondary stuff for Bauer here in the second inning. Goes to the back of the mound, knocks some dirt from the bottom of his spikes.
They typically like to get ahead with their off-speed stuff and then try to get you to chase upstairs with fastballs. That's not how he dealt with Duvall, but got him with a hook.
2 balls and a strike on Dansby. Pitch from Bauer. Swung on, missed. A fastball that was up at 94, and that's exactly as you called it. So a 2-2 count on Swanson. Ozzie ready to take off on contact. A base hit should score him. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second inning.
Hey, the ground pounders are back.
Making some racket down there.
Playing the bucket drums.
There's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He strikes out Swanson and Duvall. And Ozzie is left looking for a ride down at second base. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 Papa John's. Interesting that Casale gets the nod today, Joe. We were wondering how that might work out because with Barnhart and Casale, the 2 catchers, it's usually flipped when it comes to who's out there for Bauer.
Yeah, Casale typically catches Castillo. Barnhart typically catches Bauer. But with the lefty out there, it made a difference.
It's to Casale. That's a fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
David Bell went with the platoon look.
25 pitches for Max Fried. 17 strikes, 8 balls. 1-0 pitch on the way to Casale. Ground ball out to Dansby at short. Should be routine. Pats the glove. Slings it across the diamond. 1 down. Well, speaking of David Bell, second-year manager of the Cincinnati Reds, this ball club won 11-3 in their final 14 games to secure a postseason spot. They finished 3rd in the Central after having a sub-500 record in 49 of the 60 games they played this year. So, Joe, they couldn't have waited any longer to flip the switch.
No, and they did it against good teams, playoff teams. Cardinals, Cubs, Milwaukee, and Minnesota in that order. And won all those series.
Back to the top of the order to Nick Senzel, who singled on the first pitch of the game. Swings at the first pitch he sees and loops one over Dansby Swanson's head. And Senzel is now 2 for 2. Big turnaround first base. Drops the anchor there and goes back into first base with a 1-out single.
I would say you're going to have to figure out something else to throw him on the first pitch.
He's seen 2 pitches today and has 2 base hits. Dansby leaped as high as he possibly could. Looked like he was trying to clear a rebound on a basketball court. Well, that had just enough altitude on it to get over his glove. So a runner at first, 1 down for Nick Castellanos, who singled back in the first inning. Fried at the belt, glance over to first base. He'll throw that away, a rocket throw over. That gets the attention of Nick Senzel, who dives back in.
Good throw, got him. And Senzel hurt himself on the dive back. Freeman's motioning to their dugout.
Looks like he's favoring his left shoulder.
Yeah. There was that A move from Max Fried. Senzel froze, and then when the throw was coming over, then he just lunged back at the base.
He have jammed the shoulder. Definitely favoring the shoulder. He was talking with Delano DeShields, the first base coach for the Reds, and now the trainer and David Bell come out there.
When he was diving back to the bag, he really slapped his hand straight down into the ground to get his hand back in there. And when he did that, probably put some pressure on that joint. Looks like he's going to stay in.
Freddie Freeman pats him on the back. And he will remain in the ball game. 1 out, runner at first, no score, top of the 3rd inning. And the batter is Nick Castellanos. I was thinking about that number for the Reds. Sub 500 record going into 49 of their 60 games. And they're in the postseason. Phillies, on the other hand, a little bit different story. Tell you more about that after this pitch. Offering on the way. It misses high. 1 ball and no strikes. The Phillies had a lead in 49 of their 60 games and didn't make the postseason.
Well, we all know what happened there. They had to go down there, you know.
That's right. That bullpen was a haunted house for Joe Girardi this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Off the end of the bat in the air. Out towards Nick Markakis. He'll drift back a few steps. He's under it. And wraps the leather around it for out number 2. Back to first base, Senzel. Runner at first. 2 down, no score for Joey Votto. In his career, he's been an on-base machine. He's led the league in on-base percentage 7 times. He's led the league in walks 5 times. 6 times an All-Star, and of course that banner year in 2010 where he took on the Most Valuable Player award.
He's changed his stance, though, Ben. He struggled so much this year that he started experimenting, and he's now standing a lot more erect, trying to pull more.
Left on left matchup, leg kick in the delivery, swung on and sent foul. That finds the 3rd deck of the stadium down the 3rd base line, 0-1.
There are some Reds who will point to a date where David Bell benched Joey Votto. He was going so bad, he benched him for 3 days. And when Votto came back hot, the rest of them picked up the pace and started playing better.
He's got an 0-1 count with 2 down. Offering from Fried. That's outside, 1-1. Well, that's one thing if you're doing that to Aristides Aquino or Kyle Farmer. But for a manager to do that to Joey Votto, I'm sure that sent a message.
It got everybody's attention. That happened right at the end of August, beginning of September.
He's got quite the resume over a 14-year big league career. Ball and a strike as Fried is set at the belt. Not a big lead at first by Senzel. Pitch on the way. There's a strike. Touch the outside corner. 95. We've seen him hit as high as 96, so that's the most comforting thing we've seen for Fried all day.
I don't think Senzel's getting a very big lead because he doesn't want to have to dive back again.
No score, top of the 3rd inning. Ball and 2 strikes on Votto with 2 down. Fried awaits. Leg kick in the delivery. That is off the mitt of Darno. It goes to the bricks, ricochets off, and by the time it ricochets back, Senzel is standing at second base. So the pitch was high, but that's one that Darno should have brought down as he got the leather on it. And that is likely a pass ball on Travis d'Arnaud.
Really, it wasn't that high. It was like right at the top of his mask. I think he kind of blocked his view of it with his glove.
So pass ball puts Senzel down at second base. Second time that he's been in scoring position. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Fried versus Votto here in the top of a scoreless 3rd inning. Pitch on the way. Just missed the outside corner with a slider, or a curveball rather. So a 3-2 count, not a bad idea. Dansby shading a little bit more back of the bag at second. And Riley pretty much by himself on the left side of the infield.
I think I'd throw him another hook.
Fried, a long look into d'Arnaud, who shuffles cards behind the plate. Now time taken. Toronto takes a walk. Readjusts the Velcro on the batting gloves. If he reaches, Eugenio Suarez would hear his name called. Fried at the belt. A look to Senzel. A look to the plate. And he wheels around and looks back Senzel to second base. Senzel went on all fours back into the bag. Last thing you want to do is re-injure that elbow or shoulder area.
And it hurt.
He's playing through pain right now, isn't he?
Yep.
3-2 on the way. Got him looking, strike three. So Max Fried paints the inside corner and gets his first as Trevor Bauer. Ozzie Albies reached on an error by Votto in the second inning. Deep shift to the right side of the infield. Mike Moustakas in shallow right. Offering on the way. Misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, Nick had a real rough September. But his last 4 or 5 games, he was showing signs of coming around, hitting 4 straight.
Ball and no strikes. Offering on the way. High and away. 2 balls, no strikes. And he earns himself a hitter's count. He had 1 long ball all year. Boy, did he make it count. It was a walk-off versus Toronto in the first homestand of the season. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch on the way. Strike calls. He shaved the outside corner with a fastball at 92. So 2-1 on Markakis. Delivery on the way from Bauer. Swung on and fouled back. Just under a fastball at 93 and a 2-2 count.
Count goes even. The infield moves to their right.
Braves do have some pop at the bottom of the order. Swanson hitting 7th. Riley hitting 9th. Right on either side of Markakis. And the 2-2. Inside and low. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Markakis. And a leadoff walk would do just fine as well.
Sure. A walk in the postseason is a rally.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Nick takes time. Takes a little bit of an extra foothold in the back of the left-hand batter's box. Taps the plate with an all-black bat. Cocks it behind his left ear. Leg kick in the delivery from Bowers. Swung on and sent down the right field line towards the foul pole, and it is a foul ball as he pulled it into the second deck of the stadium, about 2 sections to the foul side of the pole.
You think Nick's heart rate got up today at all?
Probably not. Maybe right after coffee, a slight spike.
Yeah, right. Been here and done this.
He's seen it all before. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the payoff once again, Markakis. That's a called third strike as a fastball touches the outside corner at 94. 3 straight strikeouts for Bauer going back to the 2 that he had to finish off the second inning. And here's Austin Riley.
With a full count, that was a full count, right?
Right.
Hitters batted 111 against Bauer this year. That was the 28th strikeout. They're now 5 for 46 against him.
That's amazing consistency for a pitcher deep in the count.
With a full count.
Pitch on the way to Riley. Huge swing and a miss, 0-1. No score, bottom of the 3rd inning. Base is empty, 1 down. Braves have had 1 base runner to this point. 0-1 pitch. Up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bauer, 29 pitches, 19 strikes, 10 balls. Angles his shoulders towards the on-deck circle. Leg kick in the 1-1. Fastball top shelf. 2 balls and a strike.
Austin didn't play the last 2 or 3 games of the season, so his first action in a while.
Two on to Riley. Right down the pike. 2-2. Moustakas, Farmer, and Suarez. Second, short, and third. All play him to pull. And the 2-2 on the way. That's outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. With Riley batting 9th and Acuna leadoff, maybe a little protection for him.
I think that's probably why he's at the 9 hole today.
3-2 from Bauer. Swung on and fouled off the gear of Kurt Casale. And while we're awaiting the next pitch, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Braves Radio Network.
This is your home for the 2020 National League Wild Card Series.
Another home run for the Braves.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The Fan.
No score, bottom of the third inning. One out, bases empty, and a 3-2 count on Austin Riley. Awaits the offering from Bauer. Here it is from the right-hander. He lunges and misses for strike 3, and the recoil of his bat helicoptered over the top of his helmet. And that's 4 straight strikeouts for Bauer, and back to the top of the order to Acuna.
Really mixing his pitches well. Seems like the last 4 hitters have been looking for something opposite of what he actually threw, and he's throwing almost everything for strikes. That breaking ball away to right-handers, getting away from him a little bit, but he's painting the corners with his fastball.
So now it's Ronald Acuna with 2 down and the bases empty. Swings at the first pitch and sends one foul down the third base line. There have been some times this year where Ronald has just lit the house on fire here in Atlanta. Had some really hot streaks this season, 5th in the National League in OPS. He has 81 home runs in his career, and the first one came against the Cincinnati Reds a couple of years ago. 0-1 pitch is fouled back, 0-2. That was in April of 2018 against Homer Bailey.
Day game.
This is his 10th career game against the Reds, and in the previous 9, he's hit .316. Trying to extend the inning for Freddie Freeman. No score here in the third inning, and the 0-2 on the way outside. That skips away from the catcher, Casale, but no harm done with no one on base. No runs, 3 hits for the Reds. No runs, no hits for the Braves. Second baseman Moustakas just back to the bag at second. 1-2 in the left-hand batter's box, skipping up there in a 2-2 count. To Acuna. Right down the middle of the plate. He goes down looking. 5 in a row struck out by Trevor Bauer. And he's really in his element. We got in 1995, and the Braves blitzed right through the Reds en route to the World Series. Swept the Reds in that series. Offering on the way to Eugenio Suarez. Pitches high, 1 ball and no strikes. There's some good memories when you think of seeing the Reds in the postseason. Braves gave up just 5 runs that entire series. They're looking for more of that success here in 2020. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Suarez. That's high with a fastball, 2 balls, no strikes.
Reggie Sanders had a great year for the Reds in '95, and the Braves really put the clamps on him. They kept feeding him high fastballs, and he couldn't lay off. I bet he struck out in those 4 games. I bet he struck out 8 or 10 times.
2 balls and no strikes on Suarez. Hitters count here for the Cincinnati third baseman. And he hits a high fly ball to deep left field. Duvall at the warning track, and he will make the catch in front of the wall. That one really jumped off the barrel of Suarez's bat. But it stayed in the ballpark, and just in front of the 385 marking in left center, Duvall was there and 1 down.
Probably a home run in Cincinnati. That's a very small ballpark. Very straight across left field, as opposed to how Truist Park drops back to that 385 mark.
1 out, bases empty for Moustakas. No score here in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. And the pitch on the way from Fried. That's outside. I bet lots of starting pitchers really enjoy getting that start right before their team starts a 3-game series in Cincinnati.
You're right. Skip them all together.
1 ball and no strikes on Moustakas. Here's the pitch from Fried. Ground ball hit sharply, but Freddie Freeman is there. First baseman gloves it cleanly, steps on the bag, and 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th inning. It's 40 pitches out of Fried, and this is probably the sharpest we've seen him look since August.
Well, at least 20 had to be in the first inning, because he got out of that and has kind of gotten his emotions in check, and they settled in.
looking for his second 1-2-3 inning. Sat him down in order in the second inning. A lot of contact for the Reds, only one strikeout. There's a slow poke out towards Freddie, and he has got it for the out. And that soft flare into the inning. That's a really quick inning for Max Fried. He'll take it. And we'll see if the Braves can take that momentum up to the plate today and to your community, too. To learn more about how Georgia Power is helping Atlanta Power forward, visit georgiapower.com/community. Well, a couple of stars out of Southern California going head-to-head to lead things off in the bottom of the fourth inning. Freeman and Bauer. Freeman growing up a big fan of the L.A. Angels and idolizing Chili Davis and Garrett Anderson. And what a season he's had this year. 51 runs scored in 60 games. And this matchup could be the matchup of the to-be NL Cy Young Award winner and the National League MVP. Freddie 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field.
And other than the slow start, that was kind of off the fringes of COVID. He hasn't had any elongated slumps over 60 games. You know, an 0 for 8, 0 for 9 might be the extent of it.
He's really been zeroed in. And he has led this team. A team of stars, but he has been shining brighter than anyone this year. So Freeman awaits in the first pitch here in the fourth inning. Check swing. That's a called strike. 0-1.
5 straight strikeouts for Bauer. He's dealing.
From the first base side of the rubber. Slight step back, leg kick in the 0-1. Swung on and sent foul. This will land somewhere in the second deck of the stadium, just to our left, and an 0-2 count on Freddie.
Four for 10 in his career against Bauer coming in.
0-2 pitch. Inside and low, just in front of his shoes, and a 1-2 count.
Freddie's really got the only hard-hit ball, and that was robbed of extra bases by Castellanos in right field.
Looks at a 1-2 count. 42 pitches out of Bauer to this point. Long look into his catcher, Kurt Casale, and time taken by Freeman. It's been a while since they've seen Bauer, but the last time the Braves did see him, he was wearing an Indians uniform, and they really worked him that day. Got his pitch count up pretty quickly. Here's the 1-2 on the way. That's fouled off. We'll do it again with a 1-2 count.
The Braves have done a real good job of that against other aces this year, but they were aggressive early in the count in the first inning. He got settled in and started getting ahead in the count. Kind of takes away any effort to work the count.
Only the second time that Bauer's pitched in this ballpark. Last time was August of last year. Time taken as Bauer's about to go into his windup and then just stepped off and just banged himself in the head in frustration.
Well, remember, after that game, he said the Braves don't like to hit. They take too many pitches. Remember, he complained big time about that.
Ball and 2 strikes. No score, bottom of the fourth. Pitch on the way. That comes inside and catches Freeman in the foot. And the Braves will take that as Freeman caught that one on the toe. And he'll take first base to lead things off here in the bottom of a scoreless fourth inning. May have caught him a little bit higher than the toe. But either way, he's aboard at first base. And for the Braves, just their second base runner of the ball game as Ozzie reached on an error back in the second inning. Marcell Ozuna 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field. Here's the pitch from Bauer. There's a called strike, 0-1.
That was a good breaking pitch and a good first pitch to Ozuna.
Freddie a modest lead at first, held by Votto. A 1 pitch on the way. Off the end of the bat, foul. It's over the Braves dugout into the second deck, and it's 0-2. Well, plenty of sock in Ozuna's bat this season. 18 home runs, 56 RBIs. Also led the league in total bases with 145 of them. Looks at an 0-2 count with a runner at first and no one out. And he'll foul one back, still 0-2. Braves hoping that he can put on the same show this year in a Braves uniform as he put on last year against the Braves.
Isn't that the truth?
He's played in 9 postseason games in his career, all 9 last year with St. Louis, or a team that advanced to the championship series. 0-2 in the dirt, check swing. They will appeal, and he did not go, says Marty Foster. 2 postseason home runs last year for Ozuna, both versus the Braves.
Hit .429 against him.
He was a nightmare for Atlanta. 1-2 pitch. Way outside. Good stop by Casale. How in the world he clubbed that, I have no idea.
I don't either, but that was outstanding. He didn't even turn his glove over to block it with a backhand.
That ball bounced in the left-hand batter's box, and he slid across, kept it in front of him.
That spin on the breaking ball kind of caused it to bounce back to him. That helped.
2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first, no one out, no score. Ozuna waits, pitch on the way, right down the heart of the plate, strike 3. 96 on the fastball. Ozuna thought it was outside. And he gives a word to Stu Shurwater as he slowly walks back to the first base dugout.
Let's put it in the category of too close to take.
Ozuna probably thinking he's tough enough when he's throwing right down the middle of the plate. Doesn't need any help. Runner at first, 1 out for Travis d'Arnaud. Scoreless game. Braves looking for their first hit. Swinging a fly ball to shallow center. Senzel, Farmer, and Aquino. Also Moustakas. And the second baseman in very shallow center makes the catch and 2 down. So after Freddie Freeman was hit by a pitch, a strikeout and a pop out, and here's Ozzie.
His last start came on short rest, and the Reds desperately needed a win. And he stepped up on 3 days rest and did exactly what they needed him to do. 8 innings of 1-run ball. He walked 1, struck out 12 against Milwaukee.
Quite the pitching matchup to this point between Fried and Bauer. See if Ozzie can disrupt that. Swinging from the left side, falls out of the box, takes the ball high. That ball comes up and in, and it's all of a sudden like Ozzie's on a tightrope walking across a canyon, flinging his arms up in the air, trying to keep his balance. Open stance in the left-hand batter's box. Pitch on the way. Low and in. 2 balls, no strikes. No wind at all. Flags completely still out in right center. Still some shade out in deep center field being cast onto the grass by the video screen, but that's really it. Plenty of sunshine here in Atlanta. A hitter's count for Albies. Here it is from Bauer. Swung on and ripped foul down the right field line. DeMarlo Hale, Braves first base coach, had a limbo out of the way. To see Ozzie put one in the corner and see him take off on the bases. Freeman extends the lead at first base, being held by Amato. No score here in the 4th. Here's the 2-1 offering. Swung on and fouled back all the way to the bricks it goes in a 2-2 count. Well, in terms of pitch count, Max Fried definitely has the edge. He's only thrown 41 pitches. 55 for Bauer. But he is a horse and can pitch triple digits every time he goes out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Albies awaits. Here it is. Tapper foul down the first baseline.
Vans Truist Park Tours are beginning again in October. October 5th to be exact. Guided tours last 1.5 hours and are offered Monday through Saturday. Each tour capacity has been reduced to allow for social distancing and safety guidelines. For hours and more information, visit Braves.com/tours.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Ozzie rests the bat on his left shoulder. 2-2 on the way. Lunges and hits a tapper out to second. Charging hard, Moustakas gloves and has to eat it. With the speed of Ozzie Albies and as deep as he was in the shift, there was no way he could haul in, get it, and throw out the speedy Ozzie Albies. So that's an infield single out of Ozzie. Braves have him at first and second for the former Red, Adam Duvall.
Ben, I understand the shift for Ozzie, and maybe to prevent a base hit if the runner was in scoring position, play Moustakas out in shallow right field. But on that situation with Freddie running at first, that slow roller, as we saw, turned into an easy hit.
He had to dash in from shallow right field.
Yeah.
If he's at his normal position, it's still a challenging play.
Yeah, you're right. But more routine.
2 down for Duvall. First pitch on the way. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball.
You know Adam wants to do well in this series against his old ball club. They still love him in Cincinnati. They know, like Braves fans do now, what a great person he is.
He's as good as they come. Went 3 for 11 with a home run in the postseason last year. Looks at an 0-1 count. Offering on the way. That's popped up. Spinning foul. Suarez and Casale come over. They both run out of real estate. And that might be the first souvenir of the year officially, because there are actually some people down there. Family members of the team in the stands today, about 24 people down there, maybe.
Congratulations, sir.
Only took 61 games.
Yeah.
No score, bottom of the 4th inning, nothing in 2 on Duvall. Albies the runner at first, Freeman down at second, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. He got Duvall swinging for the second out of the 2nd inning. Bauer set to the belt. And it's 0-2 to the plate. Breaking ball touches the outside corner, and Duvall goes down looking. So a couple of strikeouts in the inning. Braves get a few men on base, but can't do anything.
Seats and in-seat food and beverage service, or from the newly enhanced Infinity Club, complete with a sushi bar, bourbon bar, and a pizza oven. All-Star Week events include the Futures Game, Celebrity Softball Game, Home Run Derby, and All-Star Game. Don't miss out. Request more info at Braves.com/premium.
Got it in.
Back to you, Ben.
No score into the top of the 5th inning. Folks, this season the Braves are hotter than ever. Also, the original Louisiana Brand hot sauce is now the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Is that a coincidence? Absolutely not. The original Louisiana Brand hot sauce, bring the heat. Let me tell you what, today is a baseball lover's dream, isn't it? Braves and Reds tangling here, and then a full slate of games through the afternoon, late into the evening. As every series is playing a ball game today. Here's Jesse Winker to lead it off. First pitch misses inside. Fastball at 92 from Fried. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Cincinnati. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Braves. Winker 0 for 1 with a ground out. Fried has found a nice little groove. There's a high fly ball to right. Backpedaling is Markakis. Just shy of the warning track, and this ball parachutes into his glove for out number 1. That was a skyscraper, but stays in the ballpark and 1 down here in the 5th inning. Yeah, looking around the rest of the league, Astros and Twins already underway. Marlins and Cubs start in about 35 minutes. White Sox and A's at 3, Jays and Rays at 4, Cardinals and Padres at 5, and then later tonight, Yankees and the Indians, followed by the Brewers and the Dodgers. Lots of baseball.
Full slate.
1 down, base is empty for Kyle Farmer. Pitch misses on the top shelf, 1 ball and no strikes. And as far as game 2 of this series goes, Joe, we'll have to wait and see what happens in a couple of other ball games to find out if the Braves play at noon or 3 tomorrow.
Yeah, if there's a couple of teams eliminated today, that'll alter it.
1 out, base is empty for Farmer. 1-0 pitch. That nestles in nicely for a strike. 1-1.
How about the way the Yankees manhandled Shane Bieber? Woo! Tore him up.
That lineup is certainly capable of whatever they want. And they showed it last night. 1-1 is hit hard but foul into the second deck of the stadium. lot of people feel like Bieber's going to win the American League Cy Young Award.
Good thing they voted before that one started.
Yeah, that would have altered some opinions, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes on Farmer. 1 out, bases empty. No score here in the 5th inning. Here's the 1-2 from Freed. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. They appeal. You better believe he went strike 3. So Kyle Farmer fooled, and 2 down here in the 5th inning. Only 47 pitches for Freed, and he's hoping for another quick inning here in the 5th. Braves in the bottom of the inning will have Swanson, Markakis, and Riley.
Just need to get some guys on, get some traffic out there behind Bauer, make him work out of the stretch, distract him a little bit because he is dealing.
Yeah, he has 7 strikeouts. Neither pitcher a walk in this ball game. Casale sends the first pitch foul. Second-year manager David Bell. Third-generation big leaguer. Remember his grandfather Gus played for the Reds. His dad Buddy played for the Reds. David never played for Cincinnati, but became their 63rd manager in franchise history. 0-1 on the way. That's looped over the Braves dugout foul. 0-2.
I've said this before. In my career playing against the Rangers and Buddy Bell when he was there, at the time, if you had asked me what player would you take to start a new franchise, I probably would have said Buddy Bell. Gold Glover at third base, driving in 100 runs a year. He was an outstanding player.
That's a ringing endorsement. Here's the 0-2 on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Max Fried slicing through the Reds. 5 shutout innings. And we'll see if his mates can give him some run support in the bottom of the innings. It'll be Swanson, Markakis, and Riley.
Max does tire. You can go to your guys, have them set up to finish this ball game and try to put the clamps on the Reds. Hard to do that if you're behind.
Amazing the life of a reliever in a postseason game. You show up to the ballpark ready to go. You might be called upon in the first inning of a ball game. But Max has been great. So is Trevor Bauer. And we'll see Dansby Swanson to greet him here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch is fouled off the gear of Casale. No balls in a strike.
Braves have taken a lot of called third strikes. Might see them become more aggressive.
If the Braves can get a base runner here in the bottom of the 5th inning, flip the lineup, go back to the top of the order, and start your 3rd trip through versus Bauer. No balls and a strike on Swanson, offering on the way. Ground ball hit sharply out to 3rd. To his left, Suarez loads and throws and gets Dansby Swanson. And 1 down here in the 5th inning. That's only the 2nd ground out. Seen pop out on the infield, 3 flyouts, and a bunch of strikeouts. Nick Markakis worked the count full back in the 3rd inning, but went down looking. Here's his name called as he climbs into the left-hand batter's box. Reds have out-hit the Braves 3-1, but neither team has scored. Both teams have flirted with runs. Reds had 1st and 3rd with no one out in the 1st inning and could not bring anyone home. It's on the way to Markakis. That is shot foul down the right field line. He went low for that one and sent it into the seats in the 2nd deck. Reds also had 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in the 1st inning, could not score. They had a runner at 2nd with 1 out in the 3rd inning and could not score. Braves have had 2 runners reach second base. 0-1, softly lifted and foul over the Reds dugout and into the lower bowl of the stadium. 0-2. So Nick, just as he was 2 innings ago, looking at an 0-2 count. Worked it full, but came up empty-handed. 0-2 to Markakis. That's a ball in the dirt that he swings at, skips away from Kurt Casale. He picks it up on the grass in front of the batter's circle and slings it to the inside of the bag to secure the strikeout. So 2 outs in the Braves half of the 5th inning. It's up to Austin Riley to muster up something here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, mentioned earlier, Game 2 will either start at 12:08 Eastern or 3:08 Eastern tomorrow. That'll be Ian Anderson versus Luis Castillo. Winning Game 1 would be absolutely enormous. And no score here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way to Riley. Fouled back, coming up our way. And just underneath our booth, 0-1. He was right under a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. He squares that one up. It might have stayed gone. 0-1. Offering from Bauer. Bounced up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 67 pitches for Bauer. He's got the Red Sox all the way up to his knees. Into his windup. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball left side on the other end. Eugenio Suarez has all the time in the world. Brand hot sauce. The new official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. Speaking of call-ups, I mean, that's what we saw in this postseason roster, isn't it? A few surprises in there.
Well, there were guys that haven't been on the roster for some time. They were all on the roster at one time or another. Camargo, Culberson, Pache for a brief time, but they haven't been on the big league club for weeks.
And now getting a view from the best seat in the house over there in the dugout.
Beware first pitch.
Senzel swings to the first pitch and dribbles it foul.
This is his first swing since he hurt his shoulder diving back into first. We'll see how good it is.
Definitely no secret what his plan is versus Fried. He swung at the first pitch on all 3 trips to the plate. 0-1. Huge swing and a miss. 0-2.
Didn't seem to be anything wrong with his shoulder there.
So he's down 0-2. And he's seen as many pitches in this trip to the plate here in the 6th inning as he saw in his first 2 trips combined. He'll send one foul towards his own dugout on the third base side. Nick Senzel, first-round selection, taken 2nd overall out of the University of Tennessee in 2016, and drafted 1 pick ahead of Ian Anderson, whom the Braves will be throwing tomorrow.
Yeah, I know the Braves had their eye on Senzel prior to the draft.
Young man was born in Atlanta but grew up in East Tennessee. 0-2 pitch on the way. Low and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Interesting number on Senzel. He's hitting leadoff, and he's 2 for 2 in the ball game. But he hit leadoff just 3 times this season, and he only hit 143 in those games.
Yeah, they used Aquino a lot leading off against lefties.
Senzel a 1-2 count as he leads off the top of a scoreless 6th inning. Here it is from Fried. Just missed inside. Went to that slider, and Senzel showed some discipline at a 2-2 count. Senzel gripping an all-black bat with bright red batting gloves. 2-2 from Fried. Got him. Throw that one around the horn. Strikeout number 4 for Fried, and 1 down here in the 6th inning.
And his 3rd in a row. Fans call the shots during postseason games and compete for cash prizes with MLB Rally, a new free-to-play game where you make at-bat predictions in real time. Download MLB Rally app now. Restrictions apply. See official rules at MLB.com/rally.
1 out for Nick Castellanos, former Tiger and Cub. Huge cut and a miss. Corkscrewed his feet into the right-hand batter's box. Big curveball from Fried, 0-1.
Pitch count very manageable. Still pitching well. Just needs some run support.
0-1 from Fried. Outside. He's just now approaching 60 pitches. 38 strikes, 20 balls from Fried. He's retired 9 in a row, and the 1-1 on the way to Castellanos is in foul. That's right over by the Reds dugout as J.R. House, their third base coach, picks it up and softly tosses it into the dugout. ball and 2 strikes. Max right back up the back slope of the mound, plants his foot at the base of the rubber, looks into his catcher, Darno. Here comes pitch number 60 from Fried. Leg kick in the 1-2. High with a fastball. And even had Stu Shorewater ducking behind catcher Travis Darno.
That one was still rising when it got to Darno.
Came across at 95. So 60 pitches in, still hitting 95. Max nods in agreement with Darno. 2-2 pitch. That's softly hit right side of the infield. Got to hurry for Albies. Gloves, underhand toss, not in time. Ozzie with a glove flip over to Freddie Freeman. And they just missed getting Castellanos. That was perfectly placed between Albies, Fried, and Freeman amidst that triangle on the right side.
It's like Tom Glavine always says, not every bad pitch turns into a hit. Not every good pitch turns into an out. And that was a good pitch. Jammed him badly. And he just happened to roll it in the right spot.
Ends a streak of 9 in a row retired by Max Fried. And the first hit for the Reds since the single by Senzel in the 3rd inning. No score, top of the 6th. Runner at first, 1 down, and a ball inside of Votto. Fourth base runner allowed by Fried. All 4 on base hits. He's given up 4 singles. And the previous 3 have reached scoring position, but none of them have scored. All and no strikes on Votto. Pitch from Fried. Line through the left side past Dansby. Had a base hit into left field. Rounding second. Heading for third is Castellanos. Here comes the throw out of left field. They got a close play, and they got him. Adam Duvall with a great throw out of left field, and they got Castellanos, who hesitated for just a moment, and that's the opening that Duvall needed. That's a huge out on the base paths.
And what a great job by Riley, because he had to come out away from the base to get the throw, Ben. And in the process, he tagged Moustakas on the leg as he went by. He went in head first, so his legs were trailing, and way off the base, Riley caught the ball, tagged him on the leg before he got to the bag.
That tag hit him on the calf on the right leg. Well played all the way around Duvall and Riley. And Fried pointing out there at both of them to give them the credit that they needed. Here's Suarez. Called strike, 0-1. We might be looking at later as a turning point in the ball game.
Amazing that Votto didn't try to go to second.
Runner at first, 2 down. That's a lot better than first and third and 1 down. Offering from Fried. Breaking ball right over for a called strike. Good curveball. And now all of a sudden, Fried is 1 good pitch away from getting out of the inning. Well, if we were comparing these 2 teams and just going down the column, offense, defense, bullpen, starting pitching, defense strongly leans Braves. And they showed why right there. 0-2 on the way. Swung on and sent foul. Rolled over to the on-deck circle where Mike Moustakas swings a stick. Talk about Duvall's bat all the time, but he's been a good defender for a long time.
And has a very strong arm. Very underrated arm.
No balls and 2 strikes on Suarez. 2 outs, runner at first, no score here in the 6th. Fried comes set of the belt. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him looking, strike 3. Max has been masterful. Another strikeout and another 0 hung up on the board. The only time any of them reached was when Freddie Freeman was hit by a pitch to lead off the 4th inning.
Neither one of these teams play ABC baseball that well. They don't manufacture runs. They go for the long ball, both of them. But at this stage and in the postseason, if you can get Acuna on, let him try to steal or get him on and get him over. Anything to get a run across would be huge right now.
He's 0 for 2 to this point. A fly out to center field and a strikeout looking. Acuna with 14 home runs during the regular year. With a .250 average. First pitch from Bauer. bounced up there all the way to the backstop. So very wild right out of the chute here in the 6th inning at 1-0. Pitch. That one's hit well to deep left center field, back towards the wall. This one is off the wall. Acuna digging for second. He goes in standing, and a leadoff double who's fired up out at second base. Looks to the dugout and says, let's mix it up. And we'll see what they can do with Freddie Freeman coming to the plate.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. First of all, that ball was just mashed by Ronald, just missed a homer. But the Braves were among the worst in the National League in productive outs, meaning moving a guy over from second base after a leadoff double, getting a guy in from third for less than 2 outs. Postseason, you got to get it done.
Best start the Braves have added an inning in this ball game. No score here in the bottom of the 6th. Freddie bats with a runner at second and no one out. Here's the pitch on the way from Bauer. Swung on and lifted down the left field line, slicing foul into the seats. That ball hit by Acuna had an exit velocity of 111 miles an hour.
I believe it. It was a low screamer.
400 feet off the left center field wall, just to the left of that opening out there. No balls and a strike. Pitch from Bauer. Low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know Freddie's not going to bunt, but you also know that he's a smart hitter and wants something that he can turn on.
Looking at a 1-1 count. Here it is from Bauer. Inside, skipped up there. Just missed hitting in the foot again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And another really good stop on a ball in the dirt by Casale.
He's been a brick wall back there, hasn't he?
He sure has. He's been excellent.
They've got Farmer, Moustakas, and Votto on the right side in that wishbone formation. Moustakas out in shallow right. Acuna gets a lead off second base. 2 balls and a strike. Freeman awaits. Pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled back. 2-2. It comes to rest right next to that freshly painted red tomahawk on the grass just back of the batter's circle.
That was a good pitch to roll over the top of, but he just foul tipped it. Slow breaking ball right out in front of the plate.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Freeman. And is second in the league in batting average and looking for a base hit here. Here's the 2-2 from Bauer. Swung on and hit well out to the second baseman, Moustakas. That'll do just fine. They throw over to Votto to get the out, but he advances Acuna down to third base with just 1 down.
Outstanding. That's what I'm talking about. And Freddie hit that ball hard. He was either going to get him over or get him in. He smoked a 1-hopper to Moustakas, who was in shallow right field. So now, the situation I moaned, cried, whined about all year long with the Braves. That's getting runners in from third base in less than 2 outs. They were only successful 43% of the time this year. That's horrible. That was last in the league. The other MVP candidate, Marcell Ozuna, can change that right here.
And the batter of Casale and Bauer having a quick meeting to discuss what they want to do with Ozuna here. The infield will obviously come in with a runner at third and 1 down. No score, bottom of the 6th inning, 1 out, and Acuna standing at third base. And Marcell Ozuna climbing into the right-hand batter's box, 0 for 2 of the flyout and a strikeout.
Everybody in on the grass.
Here's the first pitch of the sequence from Bauer. Swung on and missed. He was swinging for downtown. And it's 0-1. Braves didn't have many sacrifice flies this season, but they'd embrace that with open arms here in the 6th inning. A 1 pitch, swung on and popped up in foul ground. Casale and Votto by the batter's circle, and the out is made in the on-deck circle. So Ozuna pops out in foul territory. Travis d'Arnaud had to evacuate as that ball was caught right next to the on-deck circle. So 2 down here in the 6th inning, runner at third. The infielders will go back to their regular spots, and it's up to Travis.
And again, an inability. Even during the regular season, I talked about how imperative it was to be able to do that in the postseason because one run would mean so much, and it certainly does here. Braves only had seven sacrifice flies in 60 games.
2 down, runner at third, no score. First pitch bounced up there, smothered by Casale. d'Arnaud offensively had the best season he's ever had. In 2020, it was the only year in his career that saw him finish with a 300 average. Hit .321 this year. This is his 21st postseason game. And just 12 for 74 in his career in the postseason. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way from Bauer. It's low and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
Bauer's been bouncing a lot of sliders. He's got to be very careful here with a runner at third. He doesn't have that luxury just to have it bounce and get by Casale.
He is one by Casale. Acuna is not going to hesitate. Takes his lead at third base. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way to d'Arnaud. That's in for a called strike. Slider right over the center of the plate. Crucial moment in the ball game. Teams that thrive in October find their way to get it done with 2 outs and men in scoring position. What do the Braves do here? A 2-1 on the way from Bauer. That's a called strike. 96 on the gun. Fastball right at him at a 2-2 count.
Bauer walked off the back of the mound after that pitch and had a little chat with himself. He knows how big this next pitch is.
He's thrown 81 pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Acuna lead at third. Pitch on the way. Fouled back. Just under a breaking ball. Looked like a changeup.
Yeah, it might have been a hanger, too.
Well, 2-2 on d'Arnaud. No score, bottom of the 6th inning. That could change with a crack of the bat. Reds in the 7th will have Moustakas, Aquino, and Winker. Bullpens have been very quiet as these 2 pitchers have been extremely sharp. But the Braves trying to break Bauer here in the 6th inning. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Bauer gets his G. No score to the top of the 7th. No runs, 5 hits, 1 error for Cincinnati. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Braves. As it's Moustakas, Aquino, and Winker for Cincinnati here in the top of the 7th inning. Max Fried has used just 67 bullets to get through 6 innings. And he has been on a roll. 5 strikeouts, no walks. Goes to work versus Moustakas and starts him off with a first pitch curveball for a strike. Only once in the ball game has the leadoff man reached for the Reds. 0-1, big hack and a miss. Missed every stitch of it. Nothing in 2. Doubled up on the curveball.
Yeah, that leadoff man was first pitch of the 1st inning.
0-2 pitch. Ground ball out to Freddie. Takes it on a couple of hops. Bobbles. Tosses. Fried is there. 1 down. And before Aristides Aquino climbs in, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Braves Radio Network.
This is your home for the 2020 National League Wild Card Series.
Another home run for the Braves.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The Fan.
1 out for Aquino. If you're just now tuning in, you missed lots of really good pitching from Bauer and Fried. Braves have played a very good brand of defense, offering on the way to Aquino. Misses low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. And some missed opportunities for both teams. All the hype and fuss about the offenses leave it to the pitchers to steal the show. 1-0 pitch, grounded foul. 1 ball and 1 strike on Aquino. Heard the saying so many times, great pitching beats great hitting. Well, if you're looking for a first-hand example, just take a peek at what we have in Atlanta for this ball game. These guys have been fun to watch on the mound. 1 ball and 1 strike on Aquino. Here's the offering on the way from Fried. He falls down swinging and lands right on the plate. I don't know if he's ever done that before in his life, but that was a vicious swing, and he missed everything. Corkscrewed himself into the ground and then went seat down right on top of the plate. 1-2 from Max. That's lifted towards left field. Dansby sprinting back, coming in Duvall. That'll land between the two. And Aquino just enough power to fist one out in a shallow left, and that's a 1-out single. So they have the left fielder Aquino down at first base. That brings Jesse Winker up to the plate. He's the designated hitter. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Hit one deep to right field to lead off the 5th inning, but it stayed in the ballpark.
One glaring difference between these two pitchers today in their 2020 season. Max Fried threw over 100 pitches one time in 11 starts.
Pitch on the way to Winker. That comes inside and hit him in the right fist. And that'll put runners at first and second with 1 out.
And for Trevor Bauer, he failed to throw 100 pitches only once. It looked like got him twice on the elbow guard and then the hand.
Well, good thing you didn't get 2 bases for that. Yeah, right across that right elbow, forearm, and hand. So here comes Rick Kranitz. Darren O'Day is now up and tossing in the Braves bullpen. And the Reds have a few men on base with 1 down. Neither team has turned a double play. They've really not had too many opportunities as runners have been very sparse in this ball game.
Well, and in the postseason, you start talking about, well, he's in the bottom part of the order. He's got base runners, but he's in the ideal spot. Well, that's not necessarily true in the postseason, especially with this Cincinnati ball club. Anybody's capable of taking you deep, hit one in the gap. I don't care what their batting average said during the season. Worst in the National League as a team. You're a dangerous ball club up and down with power.
And the postseason is littered with heroes that you didn't expect to be heroes. Happens every year. 1 out, first and second. No score, top of the 7th for Kyle Farmer, the shortstop who hits 8th in their order. No homers, 4 RBIs this season. Fried wheels around, looks back at Aquino at second base. Farmer grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. I'd love to see that here. Try to turn 2, get out of the top of the 7th. Fried struck out Farmer back in the 5th inning. First pitch of the sequence. Strike call. Curveball in the inside corner.
He's had a real good one the last 2 innings.
76 pitches for Fried, 52 in the zone. Glance to second. Another glance to second. Lifts the leg, brings the 0-1 line out to Riley. Has it to second. There's one. Albies to Freeman. Bang, bang, not in time. And the Braves are thinking maybe that's one they ought to take a peek at. That was a close play over there at first base, but as it stands, 2 outs and runners at the corners.
It was only close because Riley had a little trouble digging it out of his glove. It was such a hot shot. And Albies on the turn got it as quickly as he could over there. Looked like it was the right call.
So a fielder's choice puts Farmer down at first base. Fried standing back of the mound in the middle of the diamond, taking his time. He's done a really nice job of not letting the game speed up around him.
pinch hitter for Casale.
Well, they'll pinch hit here. Runners at first and third, 2 down. At the base of the mound is Swanson, as well as Darno and Freed are all there. It's broken up by Stu Shorewater. So Matt Davidson will be the batter.
Yeah, he's not even on their roster. He was one of the late additions to their ball club for this postseason. They
call for Davidson. Runners at first and third, 2 down. Lefty versus righty. Davidson, a big man in the right-hand batter's box, waving the bat behind his red helmet. Awaits the first pitch, and here it is from Freed. That's outside. Runners on the move. They throw down to Ozzie Albies. They have the runner between first and second and a rundown. Out there between first and second is Farmer. Now darting to the plate is Aquino. And now they throw to the plate. Darno has Aquino at a rundown between home and third base. They run him to the plate. The tag looks to be applied, and he's out at the plate. Just ahead of scoring, Austin Riley sprinted down the line right behind him and dove at him and got the tag on the lower portion of his back for out number 3. The Reds were that close to a run, and the Braves break their hearts.
Great defense, well executed.
And we're going to need a whole...
The Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds in the Wild Card Series on the Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
No score into the bottom of the 7th inning for the Braves. It'll be Albies, Duvall, and Swanson versus Bauer in the bottom of 7. We have seen some defensive gems by the Braves in this ball game. Give the official scoring of that play that into the top of the 7th after the first pitch to Albies. And runners at first and third, and had 2 of them in a rundown. And the Braves got the out. Here's the pitch on the way to Albies. Sent foul towards the Braves dugout, 0-1. That went Darno to Albies. They threw down to second base. Albies was there, not Swanson. As the official scores went 2-6, 3-2-5. It was Ozzie there. He went to Freddie, who went back to the plate to Darno, and then to Riley for the tag. Owen on the way to Albies. Rolled foul up the first baseline, 0-2. So Joe officially 2-4-3-2-5 on that perfectly executed rundown.
And then when Austin dove to make the tag, his glove came down on the foot of Aquino, who was running, of course. I was afraid he was going to knock the ball loose. But Stu Shorewater, before he made a call, made sure Austin held onto the ball. He did.
Here's the 0-2 to Albies. Popped up, shallow right. Nick Castellanos and Mike Moustakas out in shallow right, and it's the second baseman, Moustakas, who catches the flare for out number 1. That was actually Farmer. On the catch, they had him out in shallow right field. And he goes back to his position at shortstop. One change for the Reds, as Tucker Barnhart takes over behind the plate for Kurt Casale. Braves have Chris Martin up in the bullpen. Reds will have 9-1-2 to up in the 8th inning. Braves would like to arrive there with a lead. 1 out for Duvall. First pitch swinging and fouled back over the Braves dugout, 0-1. Duvall popped 11 round trippers in the month of September. Tied a franchise record for home runs in the final month of the season. And in this ball game, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. A 1 from Bauer. Lunging and missing is Duvall, 0-2. That one just about died of exhaustion getting to the plate.
Bauer gave up 9 home runs on the year, but only 3 in the month of September in 6 starts. Make it 5 starts.
No score, bottom of the 7th. Shift to the left side, 0-2 on the way. Off the end of the bat, flared foul, and into the lower bowl of the the stadium.
My goodness, that's the slowest pitch he's thrown today. That was 79. He's working them all in.
Yeah, those last two wouldn't even black your eye. But he uses everything. There's times where they say that Bauer just invents pitches out there. He's thrown 89 of them as he continues to work here in the 7th. 0-2. That's a check swing with a ball way outside, and Adam committed. And that's strike 3. Adam thinking that he perhaps fouled it off or held up on the swing. They throw down to first to secure the strikeout. And Adam just slowly walks back to the first base dugout. 2 down here in the inning. No one 6 through 9 in the Braves order has come through with a base hit to this point. Braves only have 2 base hits in the game. Acuna, Freeman, and Albies, the only men who have reached.
Yeah, and Albies' base hit was just a slow roller.
Braves have gone down in order in all the odd innings. First pitch low and outside of Dansby Swanson. Went down 1, 2, 3 in the first, third, and fifth. And now 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 to Dansby. Curveball swung on and popped up, foul territory. Votto jogs over and runs out of room. That's about 6 rows back to the Braves dugout.
A lot of foul balls, a lot of pop-ups. Guys are under just about everything. That's why there haven't been too many tests on the ground. Breaking balls early in the count. Fastballs up in the zone to try to finish guys off.
Here's the 1-1 to Dansby. Swung on and sent foul down the third base line. Chris Martin still tossing in the Braves bullpen. Just might see him in the 8th. Braves 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Reds 0 for 5. And a stalemate here in the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 from Bauer. Outside, that kicked up dust. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Swanson. Or rather, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Swanson. Takes time, climbs out of there. There's the pitch on the way. He chases and misses for strike 3.
And in 7 innings, only threw 78 pitches. Had some good defense turned behind him as well. Chris Martin will come on and try to hang another 0 up on the board. 6'8", 225, 34 years old. This year, his last outing in the regular season against Boston, he actually came out of the game because he strained a groin muscle. But after a couple of days rest, he checked out okay. He's on the active roster and obviously in the game today. For Chris, one of the things about him, earned runs. 6 earned runs through 5, and excuse me, that was the wrong line. He missed 11 games with a throat problem. I'm backing up here. He was on the IL with esophageal constriction, but when he came back, he was outstanding. An 0.61 whip this season, the lowest among players with as many innings pitched as he had.
Really a pleasant surprise to see him available after what we saw the other day. Because he threw that pitch and immediately motioned to the Braves dugout. But good to see him back in there. He faces Tucker Barnhart. First pitch to Barnhart is a ball outside, a fastball at 94. No runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Braves. That's right, a scoreless affair in the top of the 8th in Game 1 of this best-of-3 series. Ball and no strikes on the left-handed bat of Barnhart. Pitch on the way, he chases, missed it. 1 ball and 1 strike. A couple other ball games underway right now. Cubs and Marlins are scoreless at Wrigley. And the Astros lead the Twins 1-0 in the fourth inning of that ball game. That's the second game of their series. 1 ball and 1 strike on Barnhart. All right-hander Chris Martin brings a 1-1. Just missed the outside corner. Well, no matter what happens the rest of the way, Max Fried did his job. Just a stellar performance out of Max. He's had postseason appearances before, but never a start, and he was brilliant. 2 balls and a strike on Barnhart. Offering from Martin. Strike. Right at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Barnhart's got some pop. He's another one of the guys hitting right around 200 for the regular season. 5 homers, 3 doubles. But he did strike out a lot, too. 28 of them in 98 at-bats.
Here's the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Missed with a fastball at 95. Fried finished with 5 strikeouts. His counterpart Bauer has 11. So both of these teams fanning the breeze today. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff from Martin. Lifted down the left field line towards the foul pole, slicing and foul. Over by the ground pounders. Braves grounds crew did a great job on this field. Looks great for game 1. No score, top of the 8th inning. Three and 2 as Martin is set right at the letters. And the righty deals. This one's hit in the air to center field. Duvall and Acuna both in the neighborhood. And this will be Duvall that makes the catch with Acuna gesturing as if to catch. And 1 down here in the 8th inning.
I don't know if he was gesturing or if he was just covering up his head in case Duvall missed it and hit him in the head. That's pretty funny.
1 down, back to the top of the order. This is Nick Senzel. Will be followed by Nick Castellanos. Braves will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning with a nick of their own with Markakis. Senzel 2 for 3. He's been swinging very early. He swung at the first pitch all 3 times he's come to the plate. Pitch on the way to Senzel, and he hits one high in the air to right field out towards Nick Markakis. He stands in the shadows of the lights and makes the catch out in right field. Shadows from the light standards jumping out into right field, and Nick was right amongst that shadow for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Martin. And has to get through Nick Castellanos, who's been on base twice with a couple of singles. He's a dangerous hitter. Signed a 4-year deal with the Reds as a free agent. Former first-round selection of the Detroit Tigers. Signed with Detroit over his commitment to play for the Hurricanes in Miami. And with his 3rd big league organization. He swings at the first pitch, comes unraveled, 0-1. There's a couple of guys up and walking around in the Reds bullpen, but no one throwing. Amir Garrett out there.
They'd have to answer to Trevor Bauer if they did.
No balls and a strike. Pitch on the way. That's low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. If Freeman were to come to the plate in the 8th inning with someone on base, do you think they'd go to Amir Garrett?
They very well might. He's the guy, Amir Garrett. His designated hitter, we'll say, is Freddie Freeman. Mm-hmm. Be ready.
We'll see if that takes place. Meanwhile, a 1-1 count on Castellanos for the bases empty and 2 down. Pitch from Martin, ground ball, left side, diving stop by Riley to a knee, pops up, throws over, great play. In time for the out. Austin has been flashing the leather today. And that's a 1-2-3 inning composed by Chris Martin. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Reds Mia Marie. I'm kind of worried at how he might take all that lack of attention.
Did you say Mia, what was her middle name?
Marie.
Mia Marie McAlpin. That's a beauty.
Happy for them. Congratulations to Kevin addition to the scoreboard. It's a scoreless game into the bottom of the 8th inning, and Nick Markakis will lead it off. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, and this is his third showdown with Trevor Bauer. And Bauer has been sharp as the razor's edge with 11 strikeouts, no walks. He's given up just 2 base hits. Neither one of these teams willing to budge in a scoreless game into the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the offering on the way. Markakis swings through the first pitch as that one dove low underneath the barrel of his bat. 0-1. Braves have Mark Melancon up and tossing in the bullpen. And if he's called upon in the 9th, there to greet him will be 3, 4, 5 with Votto, Suarez, and Moustakas.
Raisel Iglesias, the closer for the Reds, is up also.
0-1 on Markakis. Time taken. He backs out of there. It's been a perfect day weather-wise. We've not seen the first cloud in the Atlanta skyline all day. And a cool breeze swirling around the ballpark. Bauer brings his 97th pitch of the ball game. That's struck to the right side of the infield. Picking it up now is Moustakas. He'll fire it over to first base for the out. And that was actually Farmer in the shift and 1 down. This afternoon, Austin Riley has made his presence known with his glove. We'll see what he can do with the stick here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A shift to the left side. Moustakas drifting towards the back of second base. Farmer and Suarez on the left side. 1 out, bases empty, no score in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch to Riley. Swung on and missed.
Braves are buying into a lot of motion from Bauer, that leg kick, hurrying to the plate, but then the pitch is an off-speed pitch. Hard to stop your swing.
0-1. Outside. Kept him from swinging there, and a 1-1 count.
The 11 strikeouts for Bauer is a Reds postseason record, which is amazing when you think about guys like Don Gullett back in the Big Red Machine days.
1-1. Swung on and missed 1-2. Well, if he wins the National League Cy Young, he'll be the first pitcher in Reds history to claim that award.
He's making a believer out of me today.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Riley. Reaching back and firing Bauer. Fouled off the end of the bat. That's into the lower bowl of the stadium. Still 1-2.
One of the things that impressed us the most about Austin Riley in really the second half of the 60-game schedule was how he started making adjustments on the slider and going to right center and right field. Behind in the count, be a good idea to do that here.
It's that ability that earned him this opportunity today. 1-2 pitch, check swing, they appeal. He did not go. That's pretty close. Braves will take it. A 2-2 count on Riley. If you remember back to last year, Riley didn't play in the 2019 postseason. He caught fire in August. Overcame the quad tightness late in the year and getting the opportunity at third base today. Here's the 2-2 from Bauer. Swung on and tipped into the glove of Barnhart for the out. So that's strikeout number 12 out of Bauer. And with 2 down, back to the top of the order to Ronald Acuna.
That's 103 pitches for him. And David Bell is coming out of the dugout. I believe that's David. Walking slowly. Just looking at Bauer's season totals. I told you only once did he not throw 100 pitches. His season high is 112, and he did it twice. That is his manager talking to him. And they're going to make a change right here. And he's getting high fives from all of his teammates. What a job he's done.
Well, he went through the order 4 times. Take that back 3 times. He's about to start the 4th trip through. And he was brilliant. A very good competitor in Bauer. Reds go to the bullpen. We are scoreless in the bottom. They can bring it. So Bauer with 7 2/3 of an inning, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts. He was amazing.
What a performance.
These 2 pitchers today, Fried and Bauer, were as sharp as they've been. So here we go with Acuna. First pitch on the way outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Some of this influence of a pitching change may have been caused by Ronald's ability to drive the ball off the wall his last time up.
1-0 pitch. A little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes.
98 on the last pitch.
Reds nothing, Braves nothing. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, bases empty. 2-0 on the way. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes. On a walk would be big because we were just talking about when Freeman comes to the plate, they want Amir Garrett in there. But there's the 3-batter minimum rule, 3-0 pitch, sent foul. And, of course, if Iglesias gets through this inning, then they can make that the matchup that they're looking for the bottom of the 9th inning if Freeman leads off. But if Acuna reaches...
Pretty good swing there by Ronald, 3-0.
3-1. Big swing and a miss, 3-2. Fastball, 98.
Yeah, all gas. Nothing but fastballs.
Acuna climbs out, readjusts those bright yellow batting gloves. Climbs back into the right-hand batter's box. Iglesias stares in. 3-2. Swung on and missed. They got him with a fastball.
Of the 22, make it 23 first batters he faced during the season. He retired 14 of them. That first batter problem, a big deal in a scoreless game in the ninth.
Really is, and Joey Votto's the man who climbs in to greet him. Votto 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Melanson, the third pitcher used by Brian Snitker. Fried, 7 shutout innings. Martin, 1 shutout inning. And now the game on the shoulders of Mark Melanson to keep it scoreless and see what the Braves can do in the bottom of the 9th. Try to come away a winner in game 1. So Votto awaits, and here's the first pitch on the way from Melanson. Strike. Right at him with a fastball, 94.
Votto 1 for 9 against him in his career, but 4 walks.
Heel, shoulder width apart, peers over the top of a black glove. Wind up at his 0-1. Ground ball out to Freddie. He is there, and he tosses to Melanson, and he's there well ahead of Votto and 1 down here in the 9th.
Yeah, that first guy, that's a big deal.
Well, they execute out number 1. That'll bring Suarez to the plate. And, Joe, he's a guy who can bother you. He's 0 for 3, but this guy can strike pretty quickly.
Just go down through their order and tell me, see if you can find one that doesn't bother me.
They got a bunch of home run hitters, don't they?
They all bother me late in the game when you're not exactly playing sudden death, but feel like you are.
Yeah, just a 202 average this season, but 15 home runs. He's hit 2 in his career against the Braves. They shift to the left side of the infield. Here it is from Melanson. Swung on and missed, nothing in 1. Nothing stirring down the Reds bullpen.
Suarez 2 for 6 against him in his career.
0-1 from Melanson. Swung on and missed, nothing in 2. Able to go low and away. As he shades back over to the right side of the infield. Heels on the grass of center field. Melanson way ahead of Suarez. Rocking side to side. Wind up at his 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning. Braves throw that one around the horn.
Sorry, Ben. 3 great breaking balls there.
A lot of Melanson's success has come in the face of men on base this year. He's had lots of traffic around him. He would love a 1-2-3 inning, but he's got to go through Moustakas here in the 9th inning. And Moustakas is 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. No score, top of the 9th. 2 outs, base is empty. It's from Melanson. Missed inside with a fastball.
Moustakas has only faced him twice, 1 for 2.
Freddie guarding that line over at first base. 1-0 pitch on the way. Strike call. Fastball that just touched the inside corner. Same spot, but different call. Maybe a little bit too far off the plate.
I like what he's done here to start him, though. He's made him mindful of that fastball in. 3 straight in there.
2 balls and a strike on Moustakas. Pitch from Melanson. Low and in, 3 balls and a strike. Moustakas a .230 hitter this season, but lots of postseason experience. The Royals won a World Series 5 years ago.
Kind of funny to say, but his .230 average was about the best on the team.
Here's the 3-1. Swung on and fouled off. Just sawed him off right above the handle. So a 3-2 count, and Melanson 1 good pitch away from a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Braves in the bottom of the inning will have Freeman, Ozuna, and d'Arnaud. Melanson gets Moustakas here. The Braves need just 1 to seal game 1. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Here it is from Melanson. Ground ball out to Freddie. Backhand stop, toss over to Melanson. There's out number 3. A 1-2-3 frame for Melanson, and 1 run will win it when we come back. It'll be Freeze late in games. They have 8 wins in their final at bat. 4 of those walk-off wins. You can make it 5 with 1 run here versus Raisel Iglesias in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, I just did something for good luck that I think will work. I had a double stuff Oreo.
I don't see how that could possibly fail.
It worked just about every time.
Well, if that works this time, we're going to be crushing those all day tomorrow.
Early.
So here's Freddie. It's Freeman, Ozuna, and d'Arnaud in the bottom of the 9th inning in a scoreless game. And the first pitch on the way. Low and in, 1 ball and no strikes. A shift to the right side of the infield. Suarez on the left side. By himself, ball low. 2 balls and no strikes. A 97-mile-an-hour fastball to Freeman. Chokes up a little bit over the knob of that bat. A pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled off towards the Braves dugout. Taken on 1 hop by d'Arnaud, who's on the top step of the dugout.
Keep in mind, there is no new extra inning rule in postseason. You just play till somebody scores or somebody drops.
2 balls and a strike. Here it is. Swung on and missed by Freeman. Dropped down to 91 miles an hour on that pitch. Iglesias can touch triple digits. A 2-ball, 2-strike count on Freeman as he leads off the bottom of a scoreless 9. 2-2, low it in, 3-2. Ramp that one all the way up to 99.
I like how he's pitching Freddie down and in, though. Make a mistake in there, and the game will be over.
3-2 on Freeman. The crucial leadoff man here in the 9th. Pitch on the way. Swung on and spoiled foul. Backstop. Lives to see another pitch. 3-2 on Freddie, who's looking to reach for the 2nd time in the ball game. Remember, he was hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. Outside of that, a fly out and a ground out. 3-2 on the way. Inside ball 4, and the winning run is at first base. Now, can the Braves execute here where they failed earlier in the ball game and trying to manufacture a run? It was Marcell Ozuna who came to the plate in the 6th inning with a runner at 3rd and 1 out and popped out in foul territory. And, Joe, don't you know that he would love an opportunity to redeem himself here in the 9th?
No question about it. And all of us would like to see it.
Ozuna 0 for 3, but as dangerous as poison. Led the league in homers and RBIs. Iglesias comes set of the belt. Freeman a lead at first. Pitch on the way. Fastball, a called strike. 0-1 on Ozuna. Wind picks up, sweeping across the outfield right to left. Into the corner down the left field line. The 1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off.
I think Marcell got caught guessing on the first pitch. He was looking for the slider and got a fastball down Broadway. Then looking for the fastball, he got a slider and chased it maybe a little off the plate.
of the ninth, no score. Runner at first, no one out. Ozuna waits, pitch on the way. Fisted foul down the right field line and into the seats.
I think one of the mistakes teams have made on Marcel all year long is thinking that he was just a dead pull hitter. He's not. He's got great ability, especially behind in the count, to go to right field. And there's a big hole on the right side for him.
Righty matchup. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Got a 99-mile-an-hour fastball by him, and Ozuna now 0 for 4. One down here in the ninth. That'll bring d'Arnaud to the plate. Travis over 3. They got him swinging in the 6th inning. Outside of that, a ground out to second and a pop out to second. Freddie, the runner down at first base, coached a leadoff walk here in the 9th inning, the only walk of the ball game. Here it is. Swung on and missed. Shifted down there. D'Arnaud way out in front, an 0-1 count. Iglesias looks in, set of the belt, pitch on the way. Fouled back, right into the screen, 0-2. After d'Arnaud, it's Albies. Freddie, not the quickest base runner the Braves have, but maybe the smartest base runner they have. It'd be fun to see him out on the base paths if d'Arnaud could find a gap. One run will win it here in the bottom of the 9th. 0-2. Fouled back, hangs alive, just got a piece of that fastball.
Iglesias, when he gets ahead, he will drop down. That was a little sidearm at 99, and Travis hung in there.
Pitch. Strike 3 call. Fastball outer third, and d'Arnaud just drops his head and walks slowly back to the dugout. 2 down in the Braves' 9th. Pat in the hands of Ozzie Albies.
That's 15 strikeouts for Reds pitchers today.
Well, 2 down. Freeman takes his lead off first base. Ozzie's been on twice. Check swing. He definitely went 0-1.
Freddie can surprise you and steal a base once in a while. I would try it. Iglesias quick to the plate, though.
0-1. That's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. If he could swipe a bag, get him in scoring position for Ozzie with 2 down. Duvall in the on-deck circle. Wide open stance in the left-hand batter's box for Ozzie. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch from Iglesias. Swung on and missed. That came low and in.
I know it'll come as no surprise to you, Ben, but their pitching staff this year in the National League finished 2nd in strikeouts and 2nd in batting average against at only .215.
Well, if anybody had any doubts, they've made a believer out of Braves country today.
Right.
Scoreless game, bottom of the 9th. Ball and 2 strikes, pitch on the way. It's low and in. That rolls away from Tucker Barnhart. Well, not far enough away for Freeman to advance. So it's a 2-2 count on Ozzie Albies. If they could just find a way to reach, put Freeman down in scoring position for Duvall. Braves only have 2 hits in the afternoon. 1 came from Ozzie back in the 4th inning. Time taken as Ozzie climbs out. Ozzie fared much better against righties this year than lefties. Looks at a 2-2 count, pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strike 3. So the leadoff walk got things going for the Braves, but after that, Ozuna, d'Arnaud, and Albies all punch out. And that into the top of the 10th inning, game 1. Braves getting deeper into their bullpen. Smith in his first year in Atlanta, getting to come home. Pitch on the way to Aquino, called strike 0-1. He was thrilled in the offseason to learn that he would be a Brave and put on that tomahawk. Growing up here in Georgia, and now looking for 3 big outs here in the 10th inning. A 1 on the way. That is sent foul, a torpedo into the second deck. It had an exit velocity of 111 miles an hour. I'm surprised it didn't break that chair that it hit down the left field line.
Yeah, bad slider.
No balls and 2 strikes on Aquino. 1 for 3 with a single. Here's the 0-2. Just missed the inside corner. 95-mile-an-hour fastball out of Smith. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Aquino. One-two from Smith. That's fouled off. Before we get to the next pitch, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
This is your home for the 2020 National League Wild Card Series.
Another home run for the Braves.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The Fan.
Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch from Smith. Check swing on a ball in and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Remember, Aquino was tagged out in that rundown between third and the plate to end the 7th inning. Want to keep him off the base paths here to lead off the 10th. Now the 2-2 on the way. High pop-up, foul ground. Riley drifts over, out of room, and that is 6 rows back to the Reds dugout. Deep inhale and exhale by Will Smith. Southpaw set right at the letters. Leg kick in the 2-2. Got him swinging. Strike 3. Blistered that one right by his bat at 95. First strikeout recorded by Smith, and 1 down here in the 10th. One down for Jesse Winker. He was hit by a pitch in the 7th inning. It's the only time he reached. 255 hitter during the regular season. Did pop 12 home runs. So lefty-lefty matchup between Smith and Winker. And Smith goes to work. First pitch called strike. Slider over the outside corner. Pitch. Outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you'd look at the score if you don't know anything else about the game and see a scoreless game in the 10th inning and have to immediately say these pitchers must have been amazing. Well, for Trevor Bauer, that barely even touches the subject. He made some history in his outing. I'll tell you more about that after this 1-1 offering to Winker. Lefty Smith delivers. Sent foul. Trevor Bauer is the first pitcher in postseason history to go at least 7 2/3 shutout innings with no walks and at least a dozen strikeouts. He went 7 2/3 today, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts.
He's trying to be somebody.
He certainly was. He and Max.
I think they both were.
Ball and 2 strikes. Here it is to Winker. Missed the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fried not chopped liver. 7 innings, no runs, 6 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. They put on a show. No runs and 6 hits for Cincinnati. No runs and 2 hits for Atlanta. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Throw that one around the horn. Back-to-back strikeouts for Smith and looking for 1 more to escape the 10th. Braves in the bottom of the inning will have Duvall, Swanson, and Markakis. Twins and Astros are tied 1 apiece. That ball game's in the 6th inning. Farmer climbs in. First pitch, a called strike. Started him off with a breaking ball, 0-1. That's win or go home for Minnesota as they dropped the ball game yesterday to Houston. No balls and a strike on Farmer. Here it is from Smith. Lunging and missing, strike 2. Spun him around in the right-hand batter's box. Farmer hitless today. Did strike out back in the 5th inning. Braves pitchers have turned in 5 1-2-3 innings and looking for a 6th here. Smith ready to deal. Leg kick in the 0-2. Ground ball to third. There's Riley on the other end. Plenty of time. His throw is straight and true. And that's a 1-2-3, top of the 10th inning. So we head to the bottom of the 10th. Again, 1 run will do it. No score.
And was traded for the guy who will lead off for the Braves in the bottom of the 10th, Adam Duvall. You believe in fate? How about that?
Really is amazing, isn't it?
Sims here really pitched well for him. 3-0, 2.45 ERA in 20 games, 34 strikeouts in 25 innings, and he's really cut down on his walks, only 11. He's developed a pitch that's really helped him, kind of a hard slurve, if you will, and he's got a good arm, throws hard.
And both of these organizations feel really good about what they got in that trade, and now head-to-head here in the 10th inning, Sims and Duvall. First pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Reds nothing, Braves nothing. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. Reds about hit the Braves 6-2. In fact, the last Braves hit was the double by Acuna in the 6th inning. Duvall is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Here's the 1-0 from Sims. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Adam with 16 home runs this season. What a jolt he gave this lineup. Drove in 33 runs. You're just looking for a way to get on base here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Wheels around an all-black bat. Awaits the pitch from the righty Sims. Leg kick in the delivery. Outside, 3-0. Sims, 26 years old, as Joe mentioned, taken 21st overall by the Braves. And it really is amazing to think of all that's happened, and lo and behold, he gets his opportunity to take on the Braves in his first postseason appearance. A 3-0 on the way. And is right down the middle of the plate for a called strike.
I don't think he'd have it any other way. He'd want that challenge and welcome it. He's a good young man, works hard, tries to be the best he can. When he was with the Braves, he just couldn't throw the ball over the plate enough. Walked too many.
Braves be happy with a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 10th inning. 3 balls and a strike. Pitch on the way to Duvall. That's taken for a called strike. Generous call to the outside corner. 3-2.
Yeah, 3-1. You're not going to go after that pitch like you would unless it was 3-2. You had a pitch to waste, look for something middle in. That burned the outside corner at 95.
Adam Duvall would love to sting his former team. Sims comes set right at the belt. Leg kick in the 3-2. Almost to the backstop, and that's a leadoff walk. That bounce in the left-hand batter's box as that pitch was fueled up from Lucas Sims, but nowhere near the strike zone.
I think that was just a bad call right there, and fortunate for the Braves. He hadn't thrown a changeup, and Barnhart called for one on the 3-2 pitch, and like you said, it almost went to the backstop.
So here is Dansby Swanson, and if you're the Braves, who else would you rather have at the plate in this moment? So many times Dansby Swanson got something started or finished something late in the ball game. Any rally the Braves had, it seemed like Dansby was right in the middle of it. And he bats with a runner at first base and no one out in a scoreless game in the bottom of the 10th. First pitch missed the outside corner. In innings 1 through 6 this season, Swanson hit .237. He slugged .403. In innings 7 through 9, he hit .348 and slugged .591. Talk about rising to the occasion.
Suarez was in, thinking he might bunt. Now he backs up.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and lifted. Foul ground up the first baseline. Votto coming over, and he is out of room. That is over. over the screen, scales down the back of the screen, and hits the roof of the Braves dugout. Ron Washington was over there at third base using his body language. Get foul, get foul. Players in the Braves dugout are doing the same thing.
Don't forget about the Oreo cookie. That's a little something to do with it, too.
Naturally. Might all three have to partake. Ball and a strike on Swanson. Winning run standing at first base with no one out in the bottom of the 10th inning. And the 1-1 swung on and missed. Dansby 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out. And the 1-2. Ground ball, weakly out to short, charging Farmer. Tosses to second for one, over to first, not in time. Dansby beats it out, so a fielder's choice, one down, and a runner still at first base.
Okay, good trade. Dansby a faster runner than Duvall. 5 for 5 in stolen bases in the regular season.
Nick Markakis 0 for 3. In his career, he's been a doubles machine. And that first base dugout will be elated to see him find a gap here. Dansby the runner at first base. No score, bottom of the 10th, one out, pick off to first. They almost threw it away. Joey Votto had to reach hard to his left to keep it from going into the camera well. As Markakis climbs in, Darren O'Day starting to loosen his arm in the Braves bullpen. Pitch on the way. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Sims is pitching right now, and I know he was able to get in on Dansby and break his bat, but he's not exactly putting it where he wants it. Might make a mistake.
Markakis looking to seize on that mistake. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch on the way. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Side of the infield wide open as the Reds have the shift tilted to the right side. Righty-lefty matchup. Markakis is ready. Hitters count. And a 2-0 from Sims. Right down the middle of the plate. 2-1. And a fastball at 95. Outfield at regular depth for the most part. 2-1 on Markakis. Swanson lengthens the lead over at first base, held by Votto. And the 2-1 to the plate. That finds the outside corner. Came from down the block and around the corner and found the outside half.
Yeah, that looked like that slurve, and it was a good pitch. Actually, a perfect pitch to take the other way, where nobody's playing on almost the whole left side of the infield.
Here's the 2-2 to Markakis. Swung on and fouled back. Just under that fastball. Do it again with a 2-2 count. Braves trying to get Dansby in scoring position. Atlanta 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Cincinnati's 0 for 5. 2-2 is Markakis. Stares down Sims. Pitch on the way. Inside, almost hit him in a 3-2 count. Started with a walk to Duvall. Dansby then reached on a fielder's choice as they cut down Duvall at second base.
If they're going to send Dansby here, full count. If I'm the hitter, I want to know he's going. I want to know that if it's real close, borderline pitch, I got to put it in play and try to protect him. Let's see what they do.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swanson lead off the bag at first. He's on the move. Pitch on the way. Ground ball right side to a knee. Votto gloves it, steps on the bag. They get the out. That gets Swanson in scoring position with 2 down. And now the Braves can potentially win it with a base hit as Austin Riley will be the batter. Would have been fun to see that one sneak through Votto and go down the line, but he was on top of it.
Pretty good bet that Austin's going to get some breaking pitches here. And they definitely don't want to put him on and pitch to Acuna.
Winning run at second base. No score, bottom of the 10th. Pitch on the way. Called strike. 0-1 on Riley. Got that slurve over. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out.
Put it in play.
0-1. Swung on and missed, and he's down 0-2. Swanson is lead off of second base. Riley deep in the hole, 0-2. Pitch from Sims. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And the Braves leave a runner down at second base, and we play on. Well, the Braves in the 10th, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Into the 11th, Reds nothing, and the Braves nothing. For the Braves, no runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Braves. And there's Tucker Barnhart to lead it off in the 11th. First pitch from Smith, low and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Completely different feel watching an extra inning game with no extra inning runner at second to begin the inning, as we saw throughout the 2020 regular season. 1-0 pitch, in for a strike, 1-1. Braves are 2-3 in extra innings this season. Ball and a strike on Barnhart. Scoreless game here in the 11th. And the 1-1 on the way. Swung on and missed, 1-2. Will Smith pierced right through Aquino, Winker, and Farmer in the 10th inning. He was dominant. A couple of strikeouts, a ground out as well. Trying to keep that rolling here in the 11th. Braves will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the inning and trying to get there with it still scoreless. 1-2, pitch on the way. Got him. He chases there, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Will Smith. And 1 down here in the 11th inning.
And that's going to bring Brian Snitker out. He only wanted Smith to face Barnhart this inning. He got him. Now he'll go to the pen, and it was O'Day who was up earlier.
Tell you more about Darren when we come back. 1 out, bases empty. We're in the top of the 11th in Game 1 of the Wild Card Series. No Truist play of the game, brought to you by Truist, the new name for better banking.
And a pinch hitter for the Reds, Shogo Akiyama, will come on and hit. He's a left-handed hitter. Bats for Senzel.
Senzel finishes day 2 for 4. Here's Akiyama. Left-handed hitter. 245 during the regular season. Pitch from O'Day. Just missed the inside corner. Tarno held that a beat longer and still couldn't get the call from Stu Shorewater. Akiyama awaits the 1-0 pitch from Darren O'Day, right-handed veteran. Brings the 1-0 pitch. Nothing wrong with that. Right at the knees, 1-1.
You know, this is one of those situations where, like, for Akiyama, played in Japan last year and previous years in his professional career. He's seen a lot of these arm angles from sidearm and down under.
That's a great point. Looks at a 1-1 count. Here it is from O'Day. A little bit high, 2 balls and a strike.
Played for Cebu last year. 20 homers, 62 driven in.
There's the 2-1 to Akiyama. Big swing and a miss. Missed every stitch of that one. He was facing the Braves dugout after he swung and missed that one. 2-2. Braves bullpen has been rock solid today. Martin a scoreless inning. Melanson a scoreless inning. Smith a scoreless inning in a third. And O'Day looking to take that baton and finish things off here in the 11th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch on the way. Another strikeout as he chased that one. Strikes out Akiyama. 2 down here in the 11th inning. Now they got to go through Castellanos, who is 2 for 4.
I would venture a guess on Will Smith. That's his best outing of the year, without much question.
Yeah, whatever is second is a distant second, because he was dominant. And he got off to a slow start, and you can understand why, battling COVID-19 early on and not being able to tune up in the summer session right before the season began. Here's Castellanos. Ball outside, 1 ball and 0 strikes. Braves nothing, Reds nothing, top of the 11th. Braves will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the inning. Acuna, Freeman, and Ozuna. O'Day looking for 1 more out to get us to the bottom of the 11th. Riley guarding that line at third. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Outside in the dirt, 2 balls, no strikes.
Castellanos 1 for 5 with a double against him in his career.
He's extremely dangerous. He had some big at-bats for the Cubs last year, getting them into the postseason, coming over from Detroit. Signed as a free agent with the Reds this offseason. 2 balls and 0 strikes. Pitch from O'Day. Lifted foul over the Braves dugout. That's into the second deck of the stadium. 2 balls and 1 strike. We were talking about this noon game being played at a time of the day where you wouldn't have to worry about the shadows of the ballpark. But the longer we go, that becomes more and more a possibility.
Yeah, here they come. About 4 rows behind the Braves dugout right now.
2-1 on Castellanos. A righty-righty matchup as O'Day comes set. Stretches the arms out beyond his jaw. The 2-1 on the way. Line down the left field line, a fair ball. As Karem's off the wall, jogging to it, and now sprinting is Duvall. He comes up gunning for second base, and Albies knocks it down, but Castellanos is standing at second base. That's a 2-out double. And Duvall was sprinting over and had to change his route as that ball caromed off the padded wall where the stands jut out and go right up against the chalk line.
I got to say, Castellanos was hanging out over the plate for every pitch from O'Day. He was not going to give up on anything breaking away from him, and he covered that pitch. And they will walk Votto to put runners at first and second.
And it's Suarez who will greet O'Day. Well, first and second, 2 down for the Reds. No score, top of the 11th. That base hit by Castellanos is their first base hit since the Aquino single in the 7th. 4 innings ago. 2 down here in the 11th. A shift to the left side of the infield. Suarez has been quiet, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch from O'Day. Sails it outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Aaron trying to walk the tightrope here in the 11th inning. Neither team has come through the base hit with a man in scoring position the entire game. 1 ball and no strikes. O'Day a glance to second. Pitch on the way. Strike. Touch the outside corner at 79. On a 1-1 count on Suarez. Pitches out of O'Day, 5 balls, 6 strikes. Taking over for Will Smith here in the 11th inning. Right-handed batter awaits. Here it is from O'Day. Fouled back, 1-2.
Got away with one there. Suarez just missed that one.
So up 1-2. Where does he go here?
Away. Try to get him to expand his zone. Stay away from the middle end part of the plate.
That's where Melanson got him for the second out of the 9th inning. O'Day comes set. Ahead 1-2. Glance to second. Pitch on the way. Went away, missed his spot, and Suarez laid off at a 2-2 count.
Good try. It was off the plate. But a good try.
Votto at first. Castellanos at second. O'Day shakes off d'Arnaud a few times. And now they settle up on what they want to do here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from O'Day. Where was that? Missed low, apparently. Everybody in the field started to take a step towards the dugout, thinking they were about to see Stu Schulwater ring up Eugenio Suarez. My question is, how do you lay off of that pitch on 2-2?
I have no idea. That had the middle of the plate just below the zone.
So a 3-2 count with 2 down. Runners will be on the move.
And the infielders have got to knock this ball down if it's on the ground.
O'Day ready to deal. And it's 3-2 on the way. Outside ball 4, they're loaded. So Suarez at first, Votto down to second. It's Castellanos who advances to third, and with the bases loaded, it's Mike Moustakas. But he will see a different pitcher as Tyler Matzik has been tossing in the bullpen, and Brian Snitker walks out to the mound. That's the end of the day for Darren O'Day. Tremendous ball game between these two. Great pitching, both sides. But the Reds have their best opportunity of the day with the bases loaded, but 2 down. And Braves hoping that Matzik can get 1 more out, keep it scoreless, and let the top of the order go to work at the bottom of the 11th inning.
He last worked 4 days ago against the Red Sox, worked an inning and a third and struck out 4 guys.
If he gets Moustakas, it'll be his biggest out in the Braves uniform by far. And he's ready to work, in the first pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Takes the advantage, 0-1. Fooled in there. Moustakas is 0 for 4. He's put the ball in play 3 times, but has yet to hit the ball out of the infield. They got to be heads up on the right side. 3 groundouts to Freddie, 1 to Ozzie. 0-1. And the pitch on the way. Nubbed foul down the third base line. 0-2.
If you took a poll of the Cincinnati Reds players and asked them, who do you want up there with the game on the line, this may be the guy that wins the poll. They've got a lot of confidence in Mike Moustakas, who's played well for them since they signed him in the beginning of this year.
And tons of postseason experience as well. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Matzik ready to deal. Pitch on the way. Got him swinging. Strike 3. And Matzik diffuses a bomb at the top of the 11th inning, and they leave him loaded. Braves in the bottom of the inning will have Acuna free.
New chunker for the Reds. Michael Lorenzen will take over. This guy can do just about anything. He can pitch. He can play center field. He can hit. And he's pretty good at all of it. 6'3", 217 out of Anaheim, California. This season, he is 3-1 with a 4.28 ERA in 18 games. 2 of them starts. 35 strikeouts in 33 innings. Throws hard. Has a good slider. Big, solid guy. Time for the Braves to be somebody. Let's win this thing.
Do it right here. Pick up 1 run and take game 1. By the way, Shogo Akiyama stays in the ballgame. He's in center field. So here's Acuna. First pitch bounces to the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Lorenzen as wild as they come on that first pitch. Third baseman Eugenio Suarez right up against the chalk line down at third.
Yeah, he's walked 17 in 33 innings also.
Acuna doubled off the wall in center field back in the 6th inning. His only base hit of the ball game. 1-0 upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Matter of fact, that double by Acuna in the 6th inning is the last time the Braves had a base hit. They only have 2 in the game. The other an infield single by Ozzie Albies. And a 2-0 on the way. High ball 3. Reds nothing, Braves nothing. Bottom of the 11th inning. What a classic this has been in Atlanta for Game 1. 3-0, green light, and he popped him up on the infield. And Acuna's beside himself. Under it is Suarez. He makes the catch drifting back from the infield grass to the dirt and one down. Lorenzen gave him a fastball center cut. One down here in the bottom of the 11th. There's Freddie Freeman. Remember, he walked to lead off the 9th inning, but the Braves could not move him any further than that. Again, they shift to the right side versus Freeman. Freeman sends one foul towards the Braves dugout, 0-1. Freddie's been on twice, but is hitless in the ball game. Pitch from Lorenzen. Missed inside with a heater. 1-1 count on Freeman. No runs, 7 hits, and an error for the Reds. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Braves. 1-1 on the way. Looped foul of the Reds dugout. Lorenzen, the 4th pitcher used by David Bell in the ball game. 1-2, pitch on the way. That's high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Braves have used 6 pitchers. 2-2 on Freeman. And here it is. That is low, all 3. Similar to pitch to what we were talking about with Suarez at the top of the inning.
Exactly what it was.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Freeman. Lorenzen set. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. He chased for strike 3 and 2 down.
Threw him a changeup.
Marcell Ozuna has been quiet as a whisper in this game. He can change all that with a big base hit here. Trying to keep the inning alive here in the bottom of the 11th. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He also popped out in foul territory.
18 strikeouts for Reds pitchers.
First pitch to Ozuna. Comes unraveled, swung on, missed all of it, 0-1.
You want to know who hit the last walk-off homer against the Reds in the postseason?
Who's that?
Fisk.
Wow. 0-1. Low it outside. That's 45 years ago.
Well, it's about time to start a new streak.
I'd say that they're due. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ozuna. Here's the pitch on the way from Lorenzen. Check swing. That's a called strike. 1-2. Well, the Braves down to their final strike here in the bottom of the 11th. If Ozuna can't reach, then we head to the 12th inning. A scoreless stalemate here in Atlanta. Lorenzen comes set of the belt. Pitch from the right-hander. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Braves go down just as quickly as they came in the bottom of the 11th. We play on to the 12th. We all, as baseball fans, played out all the scenarios we might see in our minds for Game 1. All the things that might play out, all the things that we could see, predictable and unpredictable. I don't think anybody thought this was possible. We are scoreless into the top of the 12th inning in Game 1 of this wild card series between the Braves and the Reds. Alongside Joe Simpson and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick, Ben Ingram here with you in what has been an amazing ball game. Both teams have had multiple opportunities to score, but no one has been able to cross the plate with a single runner. It'll be Matzik still out on the mound for the Braves here in the 12th inning, and here's Aristides Aquino. First pitch he sees, a big swing, nothing close, 0-1. It'll be Aquino, Winker, and Farmer in the 12th inning for the Reds. Braves in the bottom of the inning will have Darno, Albies, and Duvall, and trying to keep it a scoreless game is Matzik. 0-1 to Aquino. That bounced up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Box score today has been littered with strikeouts. 13 strikeouts for Reds pitchers. 11 for Braves pitchers. 1-1. Line past Ozzie and a base hit into right field. And a leadoff single out of Aquino. He thought about two for a moment, but triggering it in is Nick Markakis. And that's a leadoff single for the Reds. So these two pitching staffs have combined for 30 strikeouts and just 4 walks. There have been 10 base hits in the game, 8 for the Reds, 2 for the Braves, 1 error. That went to Cincinnati. And not a single run on the board anywhere. And now we'll see how the Reds want to play this with a runner at first base and no one out as Jesse Winker climbs in. Freddie holding aboard Aquino at first base. Riley about even with a bag at third. Off over to first base. Back in with a step is Aquino. The battery outside the ballpark has been slammed since this morning. And I can't even imagine the tension amongst the fans outside the ballpark. Watching on the big screen what's happening inside the ballpark. Here it is to Winker. Just missed. 1 ball and no strikes. Ball game closing in on the 4-hour mark. We're about 20 minutes away from that. Nothing settled to this point. 1 ball and no strikes on Winker. Matzik ready. Leg kick in the delivery. Low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
In these hitters' counts, you just got to make good pitches. Matzik came in and blew away Moustakas. Needs to come back and get Winker. Maybe get a ground ball here.
2-0 pitch. That's ripped to the right side at a base hit. Rounding second, heading for third, Aquino. Markakis just now retrieves it. And they have him first and third with no one out here at the top of the 12th inning.
Braves have dodged bullets all day long from the Reds. Gonna have to dodge another one. 95 fastball, letter high, ripped into right.
Strikeout would go a long way. Kyle Farmer has struck out once today. Altogether, he's 0 for 4. By the way, this ball game jumped into the record books just a moment ago. This wild card game number 1 between the Reds and Braves just set a new record. First postseason game without a run scored through 11 innings.
Travis Jankowski, the former Padre, will come in and run for Winker.
Winker finished his day 1 for 4. First and third, no one out. Top of the 12th, no score. Next pitch will be the 10th out of Matzik. He took over in the 11th inning. Here it is to Farmer. This is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Infielders halfway in. First and third, no one out. Pitch on the way. There's a strike. Able to find the inside corner, even it up 1-1. Fastball at 97 from Matzik.
Farmer can handle the bat. It's not likely that the Reds would squeeze, but that's certainly a possibility.
One pitch. Blew it by him. Swung on and missed. 1-2.
Reds find themselves in the same situation the Braves were in earlier tonight, or this afternoon, with a runner at third, less than 2 outs. They're just looking for a ball to be put in play, or preferably a fly ball.
And the 1-2 on the way. Strike 3. Top shelf fastball, and there's 1. Needed that strikeout, and Matzik able to dig deep and find it.
Big time.
sitting in the bullpen. This will be a left-on-left matchup between Matzik and Barnhart. No score, top of the 12th, first and third for the Reds with one out. Time taken. Akiyama in the on-deck circle. Remember, we saw him come to the plate as a pinch hitter last inning and strike out. So Matzik, who was able to navigate through trouble in the 11th inning, looking to do the same thing here in the 12th inning. Only difference is he created this trouble in the 12th. Barnhart awaits the first pitch. And here it is. That's a called strike. And what he's done, Joe, against Farmer and Barnhart, come right at him and gone up 0-1.
Well, and he's getting his breaking ball over now to get ahead. He fell behind Winker, and that was the problem. He had to throw a good fastball to him, 2-0. Lit it up.
Ahead 0-1. Jankowski a lead at first base. And that'll cause Matzik to throw over. Not much on that throw, just enough to let him know he's looking at him. Neither team has turned a double play in the ball game. 0-1 on the catcher, Barnhart. Matzik set of the letters. Like kicking the 0-1. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes a ball high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Freddie was crashing down the first base line. Darno was ready to pounce. Matzik was darting off the third base side of the mound.
Yeah, the middle infielders were playing in for Farmer, but they've backed up now. They'll hope for a ground ball. They can turn 2 on up the middle.
Ball to strike on Barnhart. The lefty lets it loose. He shows bunt. That pitch misses high. Did he bring the barrel of the bat back in time? I guess he did. They appeal. And Joe West says no, he wasn't. He didn't have the bat over the plate. So 2-1 on Barnhart. That one came in about shoulder high, and Barnhart, who was showing bunt, had to bail out of the way just to keep from getting drilled. See if he squares around again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Throw over to first base. And again, standing is Jankowski. No score, top of the 12th. Jankowski at first. Aquino at third. Now a 2-1 count on Barnhart. Matzik ready. 2-1. He shows bunt, pulls back. Pitch misses high. 3-1. Both teams trying to execute here, but gets one down. Braves would love to get that out of the plate. 3 balls and a strike on Tucker Barnhart.
Well, he's made a believer out of Austin Riley, who is now even with the bag at third and right on the edge of the grass.
Matzik. Set of the letters. 3-1. Not bunting. Swung on and shot down the right field line, and a foul ball. That hits the screen. That was a bullet screaming down the right field line. Unfortunately, foul for the Braves.
That would have cleared the bases.
So a 3-2 count. Matzik with an enormous strikeout to put away the Reds in the 11th. He left the bases loaded in the 11th inning. Looking to wave the magic wand once again here in the 12th. Get what would be out number 2 and keep the run from scoring. 3-2 pitch. That's fouled off. And before we get to the next pitch, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Braves Radio Network.
This is your home for the 2020 National League Wild Card Series.
Another home run for the Braves.
WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The Fan.
Ben, Joe, and Jay Chad with you. Top of the 12th inning here at Truist Park. No score. First and third for the Reds with a 1 down, and a big pitch coming up to Tucker Barnhart. Took over for Casale midway through the game. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Aquino bluffs at third. Matzik brings a 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Taking off for second is Jankowski. He gets the steal. Darno with a pump fake to throw down to second, but didn't throw, and that's a huge strikeout once again for Matzik. Now it'll be Shogo Akiyama's turn. First base is open, and they might pinch hit for him. I believe that they will.
That's probably Freddie Galvis.
It is Freddie Galvis. This game has been truly amazing. Scoreless in the top of the 12th. These are the same two teams who finished in the top 5 of the National League in home runs. And not a run to be seen anywhere. Rick Kranitz trots out there. I have a message for the trio of Matzik, Darno, and Swanson as that quartet continue to chat out there on the mound.
Wondering about the Braves bullpen, they still have arms out there. Got Shane Green, they have Josh Tomlin, Jacob Webb, they have A.J. Minter.
Still a bunch of stallions in the stable down there.
That too.
So here is Galvis, second and third, 2 down, top of the 12th, no score. Matzik gave up back-to-back hits to lead things off here in the 12th. Since then, he struck out Farmer and Barnhart. And his first pitch on the way to Galvis is a called strike.
This guy tormented the Braves a lot when he was with the Phillies.
Sure, Rick Kranitz had a good report for him as he trotted out there to chat with Matzik about facing Galvis. No balls and a strike. Pitch on the way. Looking for the outside corner. Couldn't find it with a heater at 97. 1-1.
Galvis may have the longest dreadlocks I've seen on a baseball player.
They come down past his chest, don't they? Past the number on the back of his uniform. 1-1 on the way. Called strike. Perfectly placed outer third at 98. And Matzik can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Galvis, a .220 hitter with 7 home runs this season. Behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matzik ready to deal once again. This will be his 24th pitch. Here it is. Strike 3, got him looking. Matzik pumped up as he walks off the mound. And somehow he weaves in and out of traffic there in the 12th inning and has back-to-back-to-back strikeouts after giving up back-to-back pitches for the Reds. Actually, just the one, now that I'm looking at it. Staying on the mound is Lorenzen, back out for the second inning of work. New center fielder is Brian Goodwin. He's the 3rd center fielder they've had. They went with Senzel, Akiyama, and now Goodwin. And it's Darno, Albies, and Duvall in the bottom of the 12th inning. It has been a game for the ages here in Game 1. See if the Braves can end it here. First pitch laced through the left side and a base hit. And the winning run is once again aboard for the Braves. A leadoff single for Darno is first of the day.
All right, I know the new way to play baseball is you don't move runners up. I understand how that's all changed. I wouldn't do it, but I understand that's how it's played. Darno will make way for a pinch runner. It's going to be Charlie Culberson. But it's the 12th inning. It's time to bunt a guy over, and you got a guy at the plate who can bunt.
And could also beat it out. Ozzie Albies has been on base twice. So Culberson down at first base. No score, bottom of the 12th. Braves have taken everything the Reds have thrown at them today and kept them off the scoreboard. Can they answer here?
3rd time in the last 4 innings the Braves have had the leadoff man on.
Tucker Barnhart needed a moment. He had something in his eye. Back down behind the plate. He's good to go. Lorenzen ready to deal to Albies. He does not square around. Ground ball right side. That'll be fielded at second by Moustakas. They go to second for 1. Relay to first, not in time. So they cut down Culberson at second base. One out here in the 12th inning. Adam Duvall have his name called. So if you're looking for good news, at least you do have good wheels down at first base. But to have that anyway with Culberson.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better description than that, to be quite honest.
Thank you.
One out, runner at first. We'll see if Ozzie wants to take off at first base. Pitch on the way to Duvall. Misses high, 1-0 strikes. Ozzie stole the bag back in the second inning. Right side of the infield, wide open. Second baseman Moustakas towards the bag at second. 1-0 pitch. Fouled back, 1-1. Adam Duvall is due. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. To be quite honest, everybody in the order's due. Only 3 base hits for the Braves today.
Good point.
As he takes his lead off the bag, lengthens it now. Ball and a strike. Pitch on the way, and time was called right as he was about to deliver. Ball steps out, takes a practice cut, will climb back in with a 1-1 count. How many innings do you have in your scorebook, by the way?
Enough for the Braves to win.
Whatever it takes.
I've gone as deep as 14.
We're in the bottom of the 12th. Here it is. The pitch is swung on and fouled back by Duvall.
Adam's been behind in the count a lot today, having to try to protect the dish. Only one time, really, one of the strikeouts, did he have the count in his favor, went to a full count, but Trevor Bauer took care of him.
Ozzie could easily score from first on a double. A 1-2 count on Duvall with 1 down. Pickoff over to first, diving back in safely as Ozzie. Braves 0 for 7. Runners in scoring position. Reds 0 for 9. Just amazing. Just a gridlock tug-of-war between these two teams in Game 1. Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Duvall. Swung on, fouled back just under a fastball. They're trying to climb the ladder with that heater. See if he'd chase. Barely got a piece of it. Score, bottom of the 12th, 1 out, runner at first. Duvall staring down a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Pick off again over to first base, throw low, but dug out by Votto. Ozzie once again gets his secondary lead. 1-2, swung on and missed. So Duvall strikes out. 2 down here in the bottom of the 12th. It's up to Dansby. We've been talking about it all season long. The heroic moments for Dansby Swanson, not just this season, but in his career. So many big base hits late. And the Braves are pleading for one here in the bottom of the 12th inning in a scoreless ball game. 34 combined strikeouts ties a postseason record. Let's keep it right there. Pitch on the way to Swanson. That's a called strike. Fastball touched the outside corner at 94.
Or thereabouts. In the neighborhood of the outside corner. Dansby questioning Stu Sherwater.
Nothing in 1. Pick off to first base. Back in with the dive is Albies. Dansby's been on base once. He's 0 for 4 altogether. Is 0-1 on the way. Fouled back, 0-2. They've fouled off a lot of pitches. Braves down to their final strike here in the bottom of the 12th.
I would definitely send Ozzie. I know it's not a good count to run on 0-2, but if he steals it, he's the winning run. If he gets thrown out, you got Dansby leading off with a fresh count next inning.
See if Ozzie's on the move here. Dansby awaits the offering from Lorenzen. 0-2, not going. That's a ball high, 1-2. Wind picks up a little bit more, coming in over right field. It's been an amazing day. Just a perfect day weather-wise. And the tension of postseason baseball definitely upon us. 1-2 pitch. That bounced up there. Ozzie takes off. Barnhart recovers, throws down, not in time. Good job by Ozzie. The second that ball hit the dirt, he lit out for second base. And it'll be a 2-2 count on Dansby with 2 down on the winning run in scoring position.
Really a heads-up play by Albies. Breaking ball bounced well in front of the plate. Barnhart did a good job just to keep it in front of him. But now then, there's so much pressure on the defense. The infield has got to knock the ball down if it's hit on the ground. The outfield's got to come up throwing on a base hit. And Ozzie doesn't have to hesitate. With 2 outs, crack of the bat, he's off to the races. How about a winner?
A base hit would do it. Ozzie takes his lead off second base. Dansby looking at a 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down in the bottom of the 12th. Pitch on the way. Outside, bounced up there. Backhand stop by Barnhart, and it's 3-2.
Got a base open. Dansby's run doesn't mean anything. I'm thinking that if they don't give Dansby anything to hit, they'll bring Garrett in to pitch to Markakis.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Winning run at second base in the bottom of the 12th. Lorenzen brings the 3-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. He sent Dansby to a knee. And we head to the 13th. No run.
Votto and Suarez. Shane Green has had some trouble in his recent outings. He's allowed 6 earned runs through 5 2/3 innings over his last 7 outings. His ERA was 0.82 prior to that stint. Let's hope he can get through the 13th and give the Braves a chance in the bottom half of the inning. He's 1-0 with a 2.60 overall ERA.
And he's got a new catcher, Tyler Flowers, behind the plate. Scoreless game into the top of the 13th. You heard right. We have seen something that we never imagined we'd see today. Castellanos leads off. Pitch on the way from Green. First pitch strike, 0-1. I think about how crushing it is to lose a game 1 in a best-of-3 series. But you lose a ball game like this, that's going to feel even like a bigger blow, seeing this ball game played the way it's been played. 0-1, called strike, 0-2.
Because both teams will look back at opportunities.
A.J. Minter up and tossing in the Braves bullpen. Reds have Archie Bradley tossing. These two teams just rolling through hurlers. Green, the 7th pitcher used by the Braves. 0-2. He got him. Chased low, and Nick Castellanos strikes out. First time they've punched him out today. 1 down here in the 13th.
Against his old teammate in Detroit.
Gave him a head nod, didn't he?
Yeah.
1 down in the 13th. No runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Reds. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Braves. Shane Green, another huge piece of that bullpen for the Braves this year. Faces Votto, misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Coming into the season, everyone bragged about the Braves bullpen because they have so many guys with closing ability. Guys who have experience closing games. They've really been flexing their muscles in this ball game. 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch to Votto. Strike 1. 6 times the Reds have gone down 1-2-3. Green would love that here in the 13th. 1-1. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Game 2 in this series will be tomorrow. Ian Anderson and Luis Castillo. And boy, do they have a hard opening act to follow. 2-1 as Green comes set. It's Tabado. Swings through that one, 2-2.
21 strikeouts for Reds pitchers. 14 for the Braves.
That's a new postseason record for 2 teams combining for strikeouts.
Make it 15. I forgot about Castellanos.
See if Green can add another log to that fire with a strikeout here on Votto. 2-2. That is hit well out towards right field and a base hit. And it's the second base hit of the ball game for Votto. A 3rd time he's been on base. It's a 1-out single. Both teams have had so many opportunities, but neither team has been willing to give up an inch. You know, for a scoreless game in the 13th, I'm shocked that there hasn't been a single double play. Think about a pitcher's duel. Think about getting out of jams. I think there'd be a couple of double plays peppered in there somewhere, but not the case. See if the Braves could turn one right here with Eugenio Suarez at the plate. It bounces up there off of Flowers, goes to the backstop, and down to second goes Votto, and forget the double play. That'll be a wild pitch from Shane Green.
Bounced about 3 feet in front of home plate. Tyler Flowers turned a backhand glove to it. Went right up off his arm glove and into the screen.
Reds have 10 base hits in the ball game. They're thinking that one here could give them their first lead of the game. As we're scoreless in the top of the 13th inning. Ball and no strikes. Long glance to second. Pitch from Green. Swings through that one. Missed every stitch of it. 1-1. Pitch. Line past a diving Austin Riley and a base hit. Having to stop was Votto. Had to make sure it got through, and he can only advance one bag. The throw comes in, goes all the way to the plate. Flowers has it, and Suarez is down at first base with a single. And it sure was lucky for the Braves that Votto had to put the brakes on and make sure it got through, or else he probably scores.
Yeah, he didn't want to get doubled off second, and it looked like Riley might have a play on it.
For Shane Green. Here comes Brian Snitker. So once again, the Reds are threatening. And can the Braves dodge the bullet once again? 1 out, 1st and 3rd. Mike Moustakas.
Talking about how there's not been a double play all day. Ben, maybe it's time for one.
It is beyond time for one. Boy, that would be huge if they could get one here. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. And how much longer can these Braves pitchers hold? They've done an amazing job today. Reds have been knocking on the door for the last several innings, and they've not allowed anyone to come through. But once again faced with that same challenge. Moustakas awaits. Here's the first pitch from the southpaw Minter. That's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. No runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Reds. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Braves. Suarez at first, Votto at third, 1 down. Moustakas is 0 for 5 in the ballgame. 1-0 pitch on the way. That's fouled off towards the Reds dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, it was cued right off the end of the bat. Good pitch.
Reds players went out to try to get that foul ball and try to fling it into the stands and hit the high screen down the left field line. It bounced right back into play.
Came right back to him.
1 ball and 1 strike on Moustakas. Minter gets the sign from Flowers. Long look to first, pitch on the way. There's a called strike. Right through the front door. That looked like that cutter.
Well, the shadow has gotten here. It's not a problem yet, but it's running right down the first base line and angling toward right field. But it won't be long before it is difficult.
1-2 on Moustakas. Runners take their lead to the corners. And a pitch from Minter. High ball 2. Wanted to climb the ladder to get him to chase, but he went all the way to the top rung. 97 on that fastball from Minter. A.J. Hart throwing left-hander out of Texas A&M. Following Shane Green here in the 13th inning. 2-2. Pitch to Moustakas. That's low. Laid off. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lots of things had to go the Braves' way for them to put together such an elite bullpen this year. You had to get good play from the guys that you knew you'd get it from, and you had to have guys rise to the occasion, and A.J. Minter is leading that parade. Had his struggles the last few seasons, but he's been his best self here in 2020. And looking to showcase more of that here in the 13th inning. A 3-2 count on Moustakas. Lefty-lefty matchup. Pitch on the way. Spoiled foul. Into the screen right above Aristides Aquino in the on-deck circle.
He was late on that 98 heater, but he had a good hack at it. And Suarez was not running from first with 1 out.
Minter bends to the waist, gets the sign from Tyler Flowers. Looking to blow another bullet by him. Full count, payoff pitch, fouled back again. Moustakas a tough out. And like we were discussing earlier, Joe, so much postseason experience and a guy that they love having at the plate in this situation in the postseason.
Yeah, I mentioned that they'd just soon have him as anybody. Even lefty on lefty doesn't bother him.
This is his 43rd postseason game in his career.
He's fouled off back-to-back 98-mile-an-hour heaters.
See if Minter goes back to that well. 3-2. Said foul. That was rolled over towards the Braves dugout.
That was a cutter.
Minter looking to bear down versus Moustakas. Strikeout would be big. There's 1 down in the inning. Runners at first and third. Takes his time, glanced to first, and again with the 3-2, missed the front door. Went back to that cutter, and he walks Moustakas, and in a scoreless game of the 13th, the bases are loaded for Aristides Aquino.
Last time up against Will Smith, I beg your pardon, against Tyler Matzik. He put a good swing on a ball to hit to right field. Braves are playing him very much to pull. Umpires called time because he needs some baseballs, I believe.
I'm surprised they hadn't already run out. Scoreless game here in the 13th. Had 15 innings in my scorebook. Hopefully the Braves can walk it off before then. But they got to get through a jam here at the top of the 13th. They are loaded with 1 down for Aquino. And he's put the ball in play a couple of times. Does have 2 singles. He's a dangerous hitter. Does have a lot of pop. Displayed that last year. First pitch on the way. That's fouled off. Check swing, got a piece of it.
That'll help. He didn't mean to.
Aquino out of the Dominican hit 19 home runs in 56 games last year. In just 2 in 23 games this year. Double play would be enormous. 1 out, bases loaded, no score in the 13th inning. Minter's 11th pitch here in the 13th inning. Chopped foul. That rolls into the Reds dugout, 0-2. Good to get a lead. Reds have to be feeling like this is deja vu. They've had so many men on base here in extra innings. Had them loaded in the 11th, nothing. First and third in the 12th, nothing. Loaded here in the 13th, and Minter trying to keep them quiet, but only 1 down. And he steps off, wants to regroup. Left-hander, thick beard, bends in, looks at his catcher Flowers. Batter circle now being sliced in half with shadows. Shade cast onto the field by the canopy down the right field line, going right up the first base line and creeping out onto the infield grass. No balls and 2 strikes on Aquino. Pitch from Minter. Outside, not a bad idea to try to make him chase. Maybe wanted a little bit closer. On a 1-2 count now on Aquino.
Just occurred to me something odd this morning was that neither team took batting practice. Maybe because it was such an early start. You know, both teams hit in the cages underneath the stadium, but no BP on the field.
Braves have Jacob Webb up and tossing now. Loaded with 1 out in a scoreless 13th inning. 1-2 from Minter. And it's sent foul. Just rolled over the top of it. Barely hangs alive.
And he gets a big applause from his own dugout for just getting a piece of that. That was a terrific pitch.
That Astros Twins game started an hour after us, didn't it?
Yes.
I think it's about over. They're in the 9th inning. Ball and 2 strikes on Aquino. Minter surrounded by Reds with 1 down. And as 1-2, sent foul. Look out over into the Reds dugout, and it bangs off the railing and caroms out in the left field. Yeah, they head to the bottom of the 9th in Minnesota as the Twins are down to their final 3 outs of the season, trailing Houston 3-1. How about this score? Bottom of the 7th in Chicago, Marlins 5, Cubs 1.
Look out for the Marlins.
A's leading the White Sox 5-0 in the bottom of the 4th, and the Rays have a 1-0 lead on the Blue Jays in the 2nd. Full slate of baseball here on the final day of September 2020. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aquino awaits. Again from Minter. Swung on and missed, and there's strike 3 for out number 2. What a battle between Minter and Aquino. Still 1 more out to get, but Minter just needs the 1 to escape. This will be Jose Garcia to pinch hit. This is the spot that Winker was in as a DH. They brought along Jankowski as a pinch runner in the 12th inning. And now Rick Kranich jogs out there to bring the scouting report to A.J. Minter.
Yeah, he made sure he checked with Stu Sherwater to make sure that pinch hit call had been made by David Bell, and he had. Garcia was in 24 games, 67 at-bats. He hit a .194. He's a right-handed hitter. No homers, doubles, or triples. 2 RBIs. Struck out 26 times in 67 at-bats.
Well, the way things have gone today, you got to be hoping for the strikeout, right? I mean, anything will work, but strikeouts have been occurring all the time in this game. More combined strikeouts between these 2 teams than any other postseason game in the history of Major League Baseball. Coming up on 40 of them.
This may be their last position player the rosters and the notes don't match today, so you got to keep checking.
Bases loaded, 2 down for Garcia. Lefty-righty matchup. Offering from Minter. Broken back grounder out to short. Dansby's there. Goes the short way to second. And they get the force out. And once again, the Braves hold off the Reds. This has been amazing.
If you're driving home from work and don't believe me, just keep listening. Archie Bradley is on to pitch for the Reds. He is their 5th pitcher of the day. He came over from the Diamondbacks at the trade deadline. Combined with both teams, he's 2-0 with a 2.95 ERA in 16 games. 18 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 18 innings pitched. Big, tall, angular right-hander.
Markakis will be the first to greet him. 8-9-1 for the Braves in the bottom of the 13th. No score. The pitch on the way to Markakis. That's taken for a strike, 0-1. Well, this against all odds hold that these pitchers have had for the Braves would rival that of the Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae.
Whoa.
Here's the 0-1 on the way. Ball inside. 1-1.
You're going to have to tell me about that later.
You're going to have to push history class to another day. We've already made some history in this ball game. Here's the 1-1 on the way. Low it in, 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, that was the battle of the 300. Two balls and a strike on Markakis. Pitch on the way. That's outside. 3 balls and a strike. And Nick has been very quiet. 0 for 4. A couple of strikeouts. A ground out in the 8th. A ground out in the 10th. 3-1. That's on the ground. Right side. That is through and a base hit out of Markakis. Again, the Braves have the leadoff man on. They've done that now in 4 of the last 5 innings. Braves will bring along Christian Pache to pinch run. Braves looking to get it done here in the 13th inning. A scoreless ball game in Game 1 of this wild card series.
4th guy to reach leading off an inning in the last 5. No bunts, no hit and runs. Station to station.
Austin Riley, the batter, 0 for 4. First pitch, low and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
After Bradley, the Reds still have 3 pitchers in their bullpen. Miley, Malley, and Garrett.
Pache draws the attention. Bradley, who throws over. He dives back in. Bearded right-hander Bradley. Looks into Austin Riley. Shadows now right in between the batter's circle and the mound. 1-0 pitch on the way. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes on Riley.
I mentioned Garrett. He is loosening in their bullpen. The Braves still have 3 pitchers also. They have Jacob Webb, Grant Dayton, and Josh Tomlin.
Hitters count on Riley. Winning run at first. Pitch on the way. Inside, 3 balls, no strikes.
This guy doesn't walk anybody. Fell behind Nick 3-1 and now 3-0 to Austin.
Pache lengthens the lead at first base, held by Votto. 3-0 on the way, has the green light and rips one through the left side, a base hit by Riley. Pache wildly comes around the bag at second, throws on the brakes, and goes back to the bag as Aristides Aquino trying to throw behind him. So first and second, no one out, and the winning run is in scoring position for Ronald Acuna.
Great job by Austin. Got a pitch down in the zone right about knee high and hit it hard through the hole on the left side. Now you got the guys coming up you want up there. With a chance to win the game. Time to win it.
A base hit here and all that speed at second. You'd think that'd make it happen. Acuna drilled one off the wall in the 6th inning. That's the only time he's been aboard. 1st and 2nd, no one out, no score in the 13th. Pitch on the way, outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bradley's not been able to jump ahead and take control of any of these counts here in the 13th inning.
No, he has not. Told you that Garrett is loosening up, and he most certainly would see him if Freddie makes his way to the plate. And the only way he does that is if Acuna doesn't win the game right here.
1-0 pitch. Taken low. 2 balls, no strikes. So many times they've had opportunities. Could this be the time here in the bottom of the 13th? A hitter's count for Acuna. Fell behind Markakis, fell behind Riley. Bradley deals. He connects in a broken bat roller, left side, sliding stop by Suarez, throws to second. They get the lead out there. Acuna down to first base, and over to third base is Pache. And now you think they have to put aboard Freddie Freeman. See how they want to handle this, or if they'll just go to Garrett. Here comes David Bell. Braves have the winning run at third base. They've not had a runner at third base since Acuna was there in the 6th inning. And they will go to the bullpen. We'll tell you more about this showdown when we come back. We're in the bottom of the 13th. 1st and 3rd, 1 down.
He's walked 7, struck out 26. The shadow right now is about as tough as it gets for any hitter. Freeman will have to deal with him, but Freeman's done well against him. 1 for 3, a home run. He's also walked once and struck out once. Winning run 90 feet away.
When you brought up a really good point during the break, we were talking about the potential thought to walk Freeman, but they load him up. Garrett might walk the next guy in.
Yeah, the command thing and walks a big issue. Infield in. They don't care about Acuna. Chances are he'll be off at the pitch.
Pache down at third base. Here's the first pitch from Garrett. Taken for a ball inside.
Shadow cutting right across the mound. Big, tall Amir Garrett in sunshine. The lower half of the mound is in the shadow.
No score, bottom of the 13th. Runners at the corners and 1 down. Pitch from Garrett. Swung on and tipped into the glove of Barnhart. 1-1.
Reds have 5 infielders. They brought in an extra man on the infield. They've only got 2 outfielders. 3 infielders on the right side on the grass, 2 on the left.
Ball to strike. Here it is. Swung on and sent foul down the left field line into the seats. 1-2. Aquino and Goodwin are the outfielders. 5 Reds infielders. 1-2 on Freddie Freeman. A base hit wins it. Pache a lead at third, and the pitch on the way. Swung on, driven out to center field, and the Braves take game 1. And Freddie Freeman breaks hearts in Cincinnati and scores Pache. And in 13 innings, the Braves take down the Reds 1-0. He's been the leader all year. He's been the MVP for the Braves. And once again, Freddie Freeman comes through, one of the biggest base hits of his life.
And Benny does it under the most difficult of circumstances with that shadow I was talking about, and against Amir Garrett, who was the designated Freddie Freeman pitcher for this series for the Reds. Slider out over the plate, and Freddie banged it back into center field to finally end this thing. Wow, what a game.
This ballpark opened in 2017, and in that short time we've seen a bunch of amazing endings. But this one as historic as we've seen. It's a Game 1 win, something that has eluded the Braves for so many years. Home field advantage comes to play, and the Braves are able to take the momentum, winning game 1, 1-0 in 13 innings. We'll never forget about this one.
No, sir.
And a great job by the Braves pitchers, Joe. It started with Fried. We've been singing the praises of the bullpen all year, and those guys were electric today.
And in every situation that came along, Ben, that seemed like, how are the Braves going to get out of this one? They did. They got out of it every single time. What a great job by them.
The battery bouncing out beyond the stadium. What a great start in the series. An amazing opening act. And the Braves won it 1-0.